Well, there you have it. A clean sweep. FaZe find round number 11, but this is not done just yet. Fnatic can get the 11-4. This is their map pick. They do some of their best work, remember, on Mirage.
Всем привет! Сегодня взглянем на самую, наверное, популярную видеокарту 2015 года.
4 AKs and a Galil. Golden taking the hits and the firepower just to get that extra bits of utility on the table for his team. Nico in the underpass, nice and quick, doesn't fully commit, just sits in the little cubby hole, waiting to hear them go towards middle, and JW gets fully flashed by his teammate. You can see he's not really happy with him, but still fine, no one there to take him down. But there is Ray, he won't be able to get the double fraggle Willy. Olofmeister bails him out, and now the 5-on-3 coming through. Guardian tagging up players, Crim's down to a very short amount of HP. 5-on-2 now, Golden and Flusher have to do what they can, but another dink comes in.
Smoke to allow them to at least attempt to get to the site and maybe get a bomb plant down this time as Flusher gets above with the AK, jumping over. Smart mechanic actually pulls out of the jump because he would have had no chance to fire a Guardian. He actually not only destroys Guardian, but finds Nico as well. He's coming to form, it's working out, but the problem is that the HP is very low. Minute and 4. Bomb's gonna head off on its own course of action toward B. That needs to be convinced by Golden that it's on its own, and it's safe to do so because Olaf's pushing through Palace. He's possibly even going to catch Golden. And Kerrigan knows that this is a possibility and has already left the site to wait for the plant. So it will get planted, I would presume, at this point in time, but the retake's going to be there quite quickly.
This is looking quite good now. Flush up. Trying to sniff out every single crevice of the B bomb side. Drops the smoke, knows there's no point being silent anymore. That will give it up.
Oh, if that had caught either of them. Oh, what a shot. How is he doing this? Again, and get 3 rounds, or excuse me, 3 kills. 9 HP, Golden's just gotten in position with him. That nade could have easily killed either of them, and Olaf wants to go in the flank. Guess who's ready, and guess who's waiting? Olaf slows down. He knows they're softened up, goes for the first kill. Does he expect both? Oh. No, he does not. Flusha with 4 in an incredible fashion, all on low HP.
Well, there it is, 11-4 at half. Fnatic, they're on championship point in terms of the series right now. One more map will do it, but this is an incredible struggle now. If ever there was a team on this particular map, they would be it though. This is not over just yet. They can win the pistol. They've certainly got a chance. We'll take a quick break and come back with the second. Ready? Huh? Hey, easy boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
We've talked up Fnatic's CT side. If there's ever a time to prove us right, well, this would be it. They're going to have a big one. 11-4 at half for FaZe Clan as they swap over onto the attack. And a pistol, I think, that's needed for Fnatic. And they've had success on the pistols in this series, so that is certainly a possibility.
Absolutely a possibility. Anything will and can and will happen, I should say. As we get into the first round here, there will be a defuse kit for Golden, a smoke as well. And we'll see whether they can pull off some of their full defuse antics in the smoke once again. And we'll see Guardian with the P250. They've got 2 smokes, 1 HE. It does suggest they'll go towards A and use the default smokes towards the jungle and steps. All the team's been experimenting with just 1 smoke towards connected and 1 in CT spawn. We'll see if that happens. All off my step. He'll be joined in Palace by Rain and Nico, so they could be flashing those 3 players out to try and bombard Golden with bullets as the smokes will be deployed. Flashbangs coming in imminently as well. This will be the full commitment. 2 smokes to land, and now the HE towards CT spawn and a headshot as well.
Golden's been solid on pistol rounds, so a great kill from Rain to get. Said multiple kills on multiple rounds in these situations. Bomb planted already, and they're going to fight forward. They want to cut off the players rotating back from B. Lekro, only his 2nd kill in the game, and he gets knocked out already. Olaf and Nico that do succeed in their attempt to get aggressive, and they're not done there, or at least Olaf isn't. Goes toward Crims finally. Flusha jumps through to help, but doesn't end the war, just the battle. Doesn't end the war, just the battle.
It's a really beautifully executed pistol here from FaZe. We'll break it down after this. 3 on 2 now, and I still have a very slight chance, but maybe not so much anymore. Crims going down, Flusha in an impossible situation. He might be able to get this one, but Nico bails out. The bomb will be going off, and he won't even have a chance to get close to it. Well done to FaZe. They do manage to drop the 2 smokes, 1 on the steps, 1 at the jungle, and then it's such a nice play because they've got 3 players in the Palace. Their focus is to find those initial kills and send 3 players right towards the spawn area. They can do that because Golden, you can see how troublesome that was from an HE to the face when he's trying to concentrate on finding kills out of the Palace area, and then Glock bullets coming at him in full force. He goes down, those 3 players push all the way towards CT spawn, catch players in transition with their knives out, and they manage to just run away with the round. Fnatic now. 11-4 a half, but losing the pistol does not bode well. They have to force by here in the second. Straight up execution from FaZe. No default being run. They have no idea what's on the other side. Can be difficult if you run into the CZs here, and that's exactly what could happen. Rain will go first, but Lekro's Deagle's waiting for him on the other side, but Nico deals with it swiftly.
Nico is unstoppable this game. Golden in the smoke does manage to sneak through and find Guardian. He can also fade back into that, and therefore stays alive. Stays sneakily behind the box as well as he lets Crims go to work. He could pull back into this. Bomb with Kerrigan is locked at fire. Armor on all 3 players left for Fnatic. No guns available. Another amazing shot from Nico as he catches Flusha jumping, looking for information. Crims can't hit the shot on Rain. They're going to jump over top. Olaf gets him before Nico even had position, and it is down to the man who stayed alive but only had the 1 kill. And woo, running and gunning goes Kerrigan.
Could be a quick map now. 13-4, full eco for Fnatic. Nothing they can do with this round, Matt. They just have to just sit back and watch it pass by. Default pistols, and now a chance for FaZe to farm some serious cash. 2 SMGs, Kerrigan and Guardian can be thrown into bomb sites first. I don't mind that approach, going for the full execute on an anti-eco. It's when he rushed B, that's when I have a real problem with it. And you just go in and hope for the best, and we've seen a lot of teams recently go for that approach, and it's all fallen apart, and sometimes costing the game. But this should be relatively clean. Guardian will rush B, so he's allowed to go in. I've given him a pass. He can go in there just to Mac 10, and the idea is just to call. If there is a stack here, cool. They can just go in towards A. If there's nothing, he can hold up like he has right now and said, you can probably just come towards B. There's no one here, but JW is waiting. Flusha gets the first kill. Guardian's going to go down. Surely he's going to get knifed. Oh dear, 5 on 3 now, but Nico does get 1 back.
JW will welcome the cash investment at the very least, given that they're going to need a little bit more of that in the next round. Not only that, picking up the Mac 10, any kill he gets will certainly add to that, but at this point, look to win it because they've got the man advantage, and they would love to limit FaZe to 13 rounds rather than get this with little time left, excuse me, as Lekro's going to sneak in as well. This could be huge because Nico's in Palace. Little does he know it, Lekro needs to be swift about this. He needs to be calm, he needs to be still and hold his nerve. He does exactly that, AK grabbed. This becomes very awkward for Olaf and Rain. Rain locked in the corner as well. JW's gonna confirm that, and they run and gun. Not only do they get the kill, they do it convincingly. Olaf score.
What a round. Fnatic with not a single dollar invested. will be picking it up. That's a full eco. That's really rare to see that actually coming through. And you can see, okay, that's what happens when the knives happen. We get Kappa faces on the stage. We've seen a lot of those this grand final, I'd imagine, as we get into what should have been a 3-0 for FaZe, but that was absolutely everything. That knife from the kitchen area, and I guess those are the problems. If you want to segregate your players and have everyone spread out, running through the bomb sites, and then one person goes down, chaos can ensue. They'll still have money here, FaZe, but Fnatic right back in this. No one saw that round coming.
Damage is significant to both Rain and Olaf. Kerrigan, though, still on that AK, gets one. Good response. Lekro and Crims getting going is Lekro finally. He's going to fall off it as well. Notice they're walking to B. Good headshot. Down to 46. He'll be fine to take out Olaf. I thought that was going to be the nade. It doesn't matter. Flashed. Even though he wasn't blind, he was confident to take the peek, and rightfully so in doing it because he had very little HP left. It's just Nico left at a 1 versus 4.
Well, he has got time to work with, and unfortunately, man, the bomb is down in the site, so nothing really can be done. But I say that with bated breath. We didn't think Guardian stood a chance, and we didn't think Fnatic could win around with just default weaponry. But here we are, 13-5, and looking very soon to be 13-6. Fnatic start their campaign on the CT side of Mirage and buy themselves an extra lifeline with that eco victory. Means the money is very nicely injected into their bank accounts, and also they can avoid map point for a couple of rounds. They can even afford a couple of losses.
Nade down. Continuing to pick away at Nico. But you're right, every kill counts. It won't matter. He's going to go down. JW with the shot. As he snuck into the underpass position, just spotted his feet. 6 rounds now, Fnatic. Money in their favor. And we said it, if there was ever a time to show us that CT side, well, now they get a chance to do so. I was a bit worried we weren't even going to get to see that transpire when they lost the pistol round. They fought back into this, and they'll have 4 AK-47s on a CT side.
It's so funny how this keeps changing, this grand final. It's so cool. Like, these are the moments that really make it exciting. Full eco victories, the swinging pendulum. As FaZe now, they'll be on Glocks. I'm almost certain they won't win this round, but you never know. It has happened a few times in this tournament. If you remember Cloud9 with Glocks against this very team on Cash, and look, they were out of that series completely. And all of a sudden, they get a full eco win with just Glocks on the T side, and it all fell apart. And they'll go towards the Palace right now. No flashbang, but they have got 5 players in this area. Golden will be challenged here. He'll get a couple, and a trade comes in. Krim should be able to pick up the pieces, but they're not the cleanest of kills. But his teammates are there, and this should be absolutely fine.
Yeah, there's not many pieces left when you look at the HP either. So Flusha walking back out quickly disposes of them. They do lose 3 guns. Fair enough for FaZe. They don't get a bomb plant, but they'll welcome that at the very least. With still 3 rounds to go, there's a money game at play. AKs across the board for FaZe, and only 2 AKs survive to be carried over into this round. I think there's a third, excuse me. I think Golden has one down in front of him. I take that back. He's gone to the M4, so they did lose 2.
I'm glad you did take it back. We do like to be totally accurate on this broadcast. And the AWP will be there for JW. He goes towards the window this time. Round by round, they're getting back into this one. Grenades going towards middle, but as you can see, CT's jumping across to get that gap in the smoke. Rain coming through the underpass. Sort of to dissuade him from that approach. He won't be able to go just yet. JW ready and waiting. He jumps up on the ledge there. Bombs down in T-spawn, so don't expect anything too soon. It will just be basic mid-control. That's the first objective, but Chad called it out. Krim's one of the best connector players in the game right now. And he'll fire off a couple of shots there, just to maybe baiting JW, but there's the smoke. He won't have vision as they get towards mid.
Watch the way he plays it, though. He plays one angle to the next. So firing early, revealing his position. He's willing to give up a little bit, but falls off the jungle and immediately still covers it, knowing that Golden's far enough forward. He's not leaving anyone exposed from CT, so he's very efficient and smart about his positioning. Flush it for 1, but then immediately take it back out by Guardian. Lekro, just to note, has gone from 1 kill to 7 in the 5 rounds, so 6 kills in 5 rounds on this half. Olaf is going to try and challenge Crims. If anyone knows how he's going to play it, that's the man on FaZe that would.
Yes, that's a good comment, but here comes Crims. Now he gets both! How has he done that again? It looked like he was done for. 1 kill, sure, but not 2 of them, and now Kerrigan has to dig real deep here. He's with Nico, he's taking a lot of damage. Less than 30 seconds, they have to find a plant.
That's ridiculous from Crims. There's one thing about playing a position good and another about hitting incredible shots, and that goes together for him. Lycro again to find Nico. Down to just Kerrigan. Bomb is planted. Everyone's had a moment in this series. Time for Kerrigan as he falls off toward Tetris first and foremost. Cautious of the flank, but he'll optimistically presume there won't be one, and he's right assuming that as Lycro goes in. What a shot to start it. HP on Crims, remember, as well, and he's already spotted JW transferring into the site. He's going to go out early. Does get a tag into Kerrigan, but he just wants to get to the bomb. He's managed to do so, but he's not sure. Does he hold it or get off it? Gets off it and just barely gets Kerrigan. I think just barely has the time on the kid as well.
Oh, very close there, Kerrigan. Another great attempt. Happens a lot for him. He'll get so close to winning out clutches famously, then can't find the final frag, but great effort. Unfortunately, though, can't find it. The scoreline in the second half right now, it's 4-2. Here's Crims. How did he find that second kill? That's so good from him. You can see a bit of frustration from Kerrigan. Robin trying to calm him down. 13-8, round by round. Fnatic getting back into it.
What a risky play as well from GW to run to the bomb rather than try and go for the trade. He left himself ultimately close to a one-on-one, but the one shot he got into Kerrigan was enough to force him off the angle.
Well, there you go. It's all the little details. And you can, Matt, they bought this round, right? They have no grenades. They got nothing. They're going to have to go in dry to the A bomb site here. It could work out. A team like FaZe certainly capable of finding shots, but Crims, he's been so good so far. He has been pushed back to the connector, hasn't got the backup to really challenge it.
There's another position he was very famous for playing as well. That was B side of Inferno for similar reasons. He knows when to peek and when not to, and already you can see that is part of his skill set in this round as he backs off, allowing them a little bit further, but knowing he can't afford to go down either. He lets his teammates do the work and get in position sooner. He now knows he has problems though, because Kerrigan wins out middle behind him, and again, plays the angle to perfection. Lycro saves his backside, and he can start to attack back at the side. He'll see rain.
Wow.
That is clinical. Sean Gares, get your demo on YouTube tomorrow, and please, by all means, analyze that, because it is so good from Crims to watch this, as Nico suddenly finds himself trapped between three. Low HP on Crims and Golden. Nico a chance on this. He's up now to 27 kills, but with 47 seconds. Bomb down in the site. Tight position.
The problem is they had no utilities. They're sure they got out, but how did they even get a plant down there? They're just sitting ducks. They got no smoke in CT spawn, no Molotovs keeping the CTs at bay. So great attempt, a good trades initially, but there we go. Crims with 2 kills, and now 30 seconds. And Nico's is hoping they make a mistake because he can't plant the bomb. They'll wait for him to commit, and then they'll take him down together. He'll grab it now. There it is, but how does he even attempt to get that bomb on the ground? He's going towards the connector, trying to find anything he can. He's trying to make noise, bait them out of position, but time is running out, and there it is, Crims with his third. And Fnatic are doing this 5 rounds in a row now, no bomb plant once again, so maximum loss burn is sure for FaZe, but they can't really justify it by. Everyone's got about $3,400, has to be a partial here. And now this is starting to look quite tantalizing for Fnatic, the form they're showing, especially on that A bomb site. One more map will do it. The last trophy was 2 years ago in this very building. I don't think anyone would have had them in the grand final here, but what a team they've turned out to be. Smokes towards the bomb site. Guardian runs through the flames, takes a lot of damage.
Oh, his own nade! His own nade bounced back, or was that from Catwalk? I think it might have come in from Catwalk, because Flusha got it with the kill. I thought he actually tossed that as he was running in, but either way it goes down, you're right. With the pistols, by armor, they're hoping perhaps to get guns as Flusha will get traded. Or at least Golden goes down, excuse me. Flusha's still there, but Golden in the same position. Rain's got the angle covered off, bomb is planted.
Oh, you didn't see that from JW. It was through the smoke in jungle. He just fired towards the palace area and just completely wrecked the player on the other side. Rain on all of my side. They have got a rifle. This round is not done. Bomb ticking away over the halfway mark now, and JW comes out of it, and it's going to be a nice trade there. They'll know the other players towards middle, so the full defuse can come in, regardless if Rain gets any more kills. That will do nothing for him, I'm afraid.
Immediately taken down afterward. 3 rounds between them. Fnatic up to 10. Money swelling as well for Fnatic to work with. It's certainly not for FaZe. They'll have 6 rounds now against them. Obviously, that maxes out at 5, plus the bomb plants, so that does mean an AWP for Guardian.
3 losses in the last 18 games on Mirage. That's one hell of a stat, Matt. And a grand final right now, it's their curse.
And it's not even their map pick, even with that stat.
Well, there you go. Remember, this comeback stemmed off a full eco victory. 5 USPs, not a single dollar brought into the round. And it could be the most important round of CS in this final, we'll see.
Shades of Cloud9, actually.
Exactly.
From the quarterfinal from Cash, exactly. Because that was, I think, 12-5 with a full eco win. It was terrorist side, obviously, for Cloud9 in that situation, but yeah, FaZe has certainly shown some flaws as of late. JW can't quite connect, but relays the information to Flusha, and the nade might do it. Yes, he will.
This utility usage has been great. You see JW roasting Olofmeister as well. 4 on 3. They're doing this. This comeback is on. As Nico will be at the A ramp. An excellent player with the AK. Usually resides in the Palace area, though. The bomb will rotate to his side of the map. Less than a minute remaining now. Golden underneath the balcony itself by that shadow position. Reposition towards the bomb site. Guardian will pick up the bomb and spawn. He's got the AWP. Carrigan in the Palace. Surely Guardian joins Nico. They've got smokes, but how do they utilize them correctly?
Nico will lead the charge. He's out from main. No one's spotting him, but he's not exactly worried about getting Tetris or going over. He wants to try and find a peek mid-site. Golden can't move as a result of that, and as he fires, Nico looks around to see if there's an angle that will exist now as he backs off. How does Nico miss that shot? We have to see that. Surely Golden was due to go down because there was nowhere to run to, and Golden finally gets taken by Guardian. He might pull around back on his own. How many times does he have to do that? I thought Nico was spot on for one, and look at Lekro all the way from Catwalk. Just a sliver shows from Guardian, and it's now 13-11.
You're absolutely right there. It seemed like Nico outpositioned Golden tenfold. It was over. He was dead. The sneak from Nico was absolutely everything, but Golden takes him down. The orbital shots start hitting, and Guardian, sure, he gets a couple consolation frags, but the money's in an absolutely fine position for Fnatic now. 13-11. And what's the play from FaZe? No plant again. So, they've got $3,600 on Guardian. The rest of them, though, are relatively healthy. They could actually bring out orbs, and Olofmeister will buy the first one. He'll drop that to Guardian by the looks of things, who purchases the AK-47 for his teammates. Pressure's starting to get to them now, Matt. Round number 25, we're getting really deep in this series. One more map potentially to be played, but that might not be required. 11-4.5, and now 13-11 in favor of FaZe on the T side, but remember, Fnatic's pick, and they'll pick it for a reason. This looks like an execution off the bat. Bomb is there, one player towards middle. It's going to be Rain.
Double Molotov, by the way. That stacks. Those do actually stack, so that is massive. Guardian had to get off it immediately. Down to 55 from that. Rain up middle already. Crims this round is interestingly not playing there. He's going to take a very different approach. He's been there so much, though, that it will slow them down, in itself. Because they have to consider how good he's been, and instead he wants them to walk toward Ticket. He'll cover them off as Golden goes forward in the site. So very different setup this time in Rain. Just barely forward enough of those flames. He'll hold the position in connector.
Here we go, final commitment. Golden. A lot of pressure on him to find frags.
Heard Olaf jumping over. Times it to find Guardian, but there's really nowhere to hide after that. No utility to help him out as Kerrigan gets the kill and Rain follows it to Flusha. One round Crims doesn't go to connector, and it becomes a massive factor. JW not able to hit the first shot through the box, but does do damage on the second. It's Kerrigan. Actually, I take that back. Excuse me, it was Rain that took the damage. Kerrigan got away with that. He's playing on top. Crims knows it, but can't get the angle. Lekro at least trades off and allows him into the site. But Lekro's got a long way to go to get toward him, and he's making noise to Rain below.
There we go. That should be the round concluded. 4 players down. Crims saves the AWP. And it's the slow A pincer there from FaZe. Get himself in a fantastic position, dropping the flashbangs. And Golden was good for one, but quick frags in return. And Olofmeister picking up the AWP did equate to a round victory there. Good mid patrol as well. They managed to take down Lekro, and that was the round secured.
7 rounds in a row, so you would think that the reset, you'd want to chase down some of these kills. The problem is that because a couple of them have been close, specifically the most recent ones, a defuse 2 rounds ago, and then last round 2 players only surviving, and then this a loss. They don't have any money left over on their side, so FaZe might have done just enough in terms of getting kills to give themselves a real chance at getting on map point.
Well, they'll take a pause now. It's actually FaZe that called this one. Knowing that they're on the brink, if they lose this round, they'll be in turn reset. So both teams feeling the financial pressures here on Mirage. 14-11, FaZe in touching distance of that 5th map. Going the full distance here. And double orb set up for the first time from Fnatic on their CT side now. JW and Lekro to wield it. I assume Lekro goes maybe towards the B site and allows JW just to focus on middle and A, but we'll see what kind of setup they come into round number 26 with. A FAMAS for Golden, flushing this down to a Deagle. This is very reliant on those two turrets, the AWPs. Very common setup for the CTs on Mirage. Is it going to be enough? They can squeak this round through. They could do this. If it goes against them, though, if FaZe pick up round number 26, they have no money left. And it's more than likely going to the 5th and final map. So they execute at least of sorts. 2 players lining up smokes already. That's where the bomb is. Another A split potentially. As JW in the connector will be Molotov out of position. Crims will extinguish it for now, and Golden actually sits in the A round. That's such a one and done position, especially against players like FaZe. We'll see if he can get anything done there. He could be flashed over, he could go aggressive if he wants to, but such high risk CS.
Golden knows they're there, but does he dare go and try and catch them off with the utility? Doesn't need to. Kerrigan walks in and he wins the duel, and he's
not falling back.
Actually, yeah, exactly. Comfortable in staying there. Maybe they think he will. His feet are going to show, though. Nico's got the angle.
It's crazy. He will offer himself up. I would be out of there straight away. He's going to kill him for mass. And Guardian might have done enough here for FaZe. JW and Lekro left in the 2 versus 4. They've only got orbs, but sometimes that's enough. JW spots one, and he will fall back, but try before having to go at the A bomb site. Bomb should be planted towards connector. They have not got kits.
Good shot again from Guardian. His 3rd in the round, that it might be enough to secure that map point that they're looking for, and in doing so leave Fnatic with nothing on the table. All down to JW.
What's he up to here then? He'll be sitting in CT spawn. Just the pistol out here. He's got no kit, so no chance of any ninja antics.
Hoping for the best at this point in time. Maybe he can get some kills at the end of it and make it easier for the next round. Pistol kill onto Nico. Thankfully, he doesn't take any damage because the bomb about to go off. It is map point for FaZe. And a chance to put this series at 2-2 and go the distance on Train, our 5th map.
Very likely now, but he does save the orb. Good shots by Guardian. Stepping up for his teammates when required. Nice little double kill there. Just turreting as he hits absolutely everyone. Of course, Fnatic have no choice but to force around this AWP. Now 4 rounds in a row for them. It all starts here. If the Deagles and UMPs can cause some damage here, win the round cleanly, they can buy up the rifle, steal the AKs back. But FaZe Clan have got a plan to close this out right here, right now. A execution coming in off the very get-go. Smokes to be deployed, flashes as well. No one towards middle, nothing at all. Golden in response will smoke towards the palace area. And they've dropped the smokes and they try to bait out whatever utility the CTs have. And has it worked? Oh my God, yes. You can see they've dropped absolutely everything, and now they've got nothing to defend the actual approach, which will be coming in momentarily.
Pressure on JW with the AWP.
Surely this is it.
Op's gonna have to be amazing. Golden, unsure of his position. You can see him moving around so many times. The Op certainly works so far. That might actually cause some confusion, which allows Golden to slide out. Only gets 1. If he found 2 in that situation, and he's 2 HP away from doing so against Rain, they could have easily swept this round back in their favor. Look at the smokes down. Nico up close, knows that JW's climbing the stairwell, and he's far enough back. He'll get back to Tetris. Still, though, at 2 versus, might take it back. Rain's still alive. I thought he actually went down in that, so still 3 men alive for FaZe, despite that they're lower on HP. Lekro's going to the Op instead. Picked that up from where JW went down. No kits. They've got to get aggressive to the Deagle so we can move quicker into the site. No one at Tetris, even though he's still checking it. Spots Rain. Fair enough. That's all for information at this point. He can afford to go down, but look at Lekro stepping up when he needs to. A slow start to this game, but is it enough to keep it alive as he just has to hold off Nico? And he does that, but Flush is burned. He's burned alive.
That's it. It's done.
Couldn't get the defuse. The Molotov makes it just far enough, and FaZe force map 3.
Can you believe it? What a final it's turning out to be. We are going to the 5th and final map here. Great play, great bounce back by Nico especially. What a performance that was. But I have to say, Fnatic, after going down 11-4, they certainly made it exciting on the CT half. And it's the Deagle of Lekro that almost kept them alive there, but the Molotov just denies it.
They thought they had that. That was within 1 second, I'm sure of it, or under. Lekro was already going to look for utility back toward connector.
Absolutely.
And suddenly he realized that bomb was about to blow. And my God, it's been an explosive series. We've got another map. We've got Train to decide this. Does FaZe redeem themselves from losing on this stage last year and get their first IEM championship? Or does Fnatic get their third and their first championship overall in 2 years? We're going to find out the hard way, the long and antagonizing way for these two teams. But my God, we're looking forward to it. We'll see you in a minute.
Ready? Huh? Hey, easy boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
We are back. We are legendary. We are passionate. We are Cologne.
The strike comes in for rain!
We are one.
The history comes full circle yet again, now. The persistence, the dreams, the sweat, the struggle, the tradition. Some things cannot be named, some places cannot be described. You can feel it, you know you can be a part of the extraordinary.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
A full 5 maps for us. What a treat for a grand final. FaZe Fnatic, it was painted as somewhat of a mismatch. Fnatic a chance at IEM history to try and find a third Fnatic name on that trophy. 2 years since the last one. 2 years since they last lifted a trophy. And FaZe standing in their way now as we venture into a 5th. The 4th does go the way of FaZe. It looked good for Fnatic coming into Mirage map. Close to their comfort zone, and now Train lies as the 5th. We'll talk about that and all of Mirage. I'm joined by Janko Paunovic and Chad Birchall one more time. I am your host, Alex Richardson. Gentlemen, Mirage, Molotov last round. Good God, okay. We need to stop starting at the end. Let's start at the start. Chad, what do you make of that one?
Let's start at the very start, Alex. I came in today, I sat down, I got my makeup done, and the makeup lady said to me, "Is it going to be a quick one?" I said, "Yeah, it's going to be a 3-0. I thought the FaZe were just going to take this one and they were going to absolutely wipe the floor with Fnatic. Thought everyone would get out of here early, you know, be home in time for dinner with their mum and dad on a Sunday night, have a roast. Well, we're not getting that, are we? We're getting a full 5 maps. We're getting all the rounds, all the maps, all the timeouts, everything we want to see. And some really good Counter-Strike on top of that. Look, I think that 11-4 first half, they thought it was over. And then we flick on over to the second half. There's a really good pistol round coming out from the boys on FaZe. You know, they play it very well. And then, no, a full eco comes in and they forget how to play Counter-Strike.
Do they forget how to play Counter-Strike, or do Fnatic just seem to be crazy with these pistols?
I think, you know, probably the biggest enigma in CS with a couple of teams right now is how is there so much volatility in terms of performance over a course of a single tournament or even over a course of a single series like we're seeing here from FaZe, right? Why weren't they able to play on the same level like they did, for example, for the first 20 rounds of this map, like they did on Overpass? And also, why did all of a sudden they lose to a full eco to Fnatic and lose the following 6 rounds without really even being close to winning them and then end up winning the game, right? There's so many things. For other teams, it's not as difficult to pinpoint, right? For a team like G2, star-studded lineup, but, you know, maybe tactically, strategically have some things missing. FaZe, at least on paper, has all of the ingredients, right? They have good tactics, they have great individual players, they have experienced players, everything, good roles, everything is set, but still, there's so much volatility in their performance, which is very hard to explain.
And talking of volatility and performance, we saw, I think, 3-4 rounds in, Nico got more frags than his entire Overpass and actually leads the series now. I mean, this guy up and down like a yo-yo.
Yeah, and on the opposing side, Lekro, who I've been pointing out, you know, T-side, Mirage, Lekro's really good there, gets a lot of opening kills. Whole T-side, he gets 1 kill. It's like, you know, so applies for both teams, right? So it's very difficult at times. I think that's where you really see the pressure of the grand final playing on stage, right? Even some of the moves that the players go for, some of the ridiculous peaks, or sometimes just the lack of peaking, you know, that the end of the game, the Molotov from Guardian, how can possibly a guy get on top of that, get on top of Firebox and kill the guy in sight without anyone peeking from apps or ramp? How do you allow that to happen? It's so ridiculous.
Chad, ridiculous, does that sound like the right word to summarize the kind of Counter-Strike that we're going to devolve into as we start, you know, this grand final starts to set into its later stages?
We do love talking, Alex, but I'm getting absolutely baffled, you know, by some of the plays that we're seeing come out here. I look at the little things that they do right, and I go, this is fantastic, but then there's meltdowns, right? This is the final round. This is what you started the segment with, where that Molotov came into play, and it just completely, you know, well, it was a clutch Molotov, I guess that's what we can call it, coming out. In this situation, in a round like this, you got to be kicking yourself because it never should have happened. First of all, it should have never got down to the Molotov having to win the round.
Okay.
The CT's never had really much stock to get back into it. Lekro picking up the 2 Deagle kills and then the AWP. Like, there's just certain things that shouldn't be happening that are, and I'm getting very confused.
Yeah,
take a look at this round.
That's the problem. It was a good execute. You know, it was a 2-wave execute. Let's bait out the little utility they have. Maybe force someone to push or something along those lines, get an easy kill. And now it's a 3v2. You'll see they're going to plant the bomb. One guy goes into Firebox, and his teammates are in apartments and in ramp. It's just a lack. You know, if Guardian doesn't get that Molotov off, if he dies before it, that round is over. And it's over because all 3 players in a numbers advantage were just hiding. Look at this. Like, he's almost in shadow. His teammate is jumping on top of Firebox. And look at where Guardian and Eco are. It's like, well, why don't you peek your 3v2? Just peek together. You know, sometimes I feel the patience that we see in this clutch round goes into the opposite way, where it's actually the lack of, that's not even being aggressive, that's just being sound.
And just a moment, Chad, because you have to realize what a wave of emotions Lekro experienced in a 10-second time frame, from getting 3 kills, he's only got a Deagle, they've done it, we're going to another, he gets the last frag, and then running away celebrating to seeing that little name, that Molotov icon in the top half of his screen, realizing he's got to play a whole other map of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, right in the fields. I think the biggest question mark for me in that one is, and we've seen this several times throughout this tournament, is the bomb's planted in the safe spot, right? You can't see that from ramp. You can't see that from where Nico is. Why is Nico not the first guy taking the jewel, right? He should take the jewel and then everyone else should swing. That's how it should work in that scenario. This is the nerves. This is the pressure of the stage standing out.
And you know you won consecutive rounds. You know their buy is going to be super weak. You are supposedly one of the best players in the world who has great aim. It's like, just take the fight, man. Just take the fight. It's not that hard.
Oh, they are starting to crumble, Alex, but they got the win. We got to the 5th.
Yes, and that's where we need to start focusing our attention, because you know, actually, as we stepped up towards this desk, I did pose the question to you, just simply, how much of Train have we seen from Fnatic? And Online, last 2-3 months, we did double check it. They played it twice, and even one of them, in fact, their loss was against FaZe.
Yeah, their loss was against FaZe, and for FaZe, it seemed like, you know, after the player break before the major, it does seem like Train and Cash switched places with Inferno and Overpass. Inferno and Overpass were the maps that they would, you know, pick in series. They were doing great for FaZe, and Cash and Train were the weak spots, you know, with Nuke being a whole different story. Sure. So after the break, Cash becomes one of their best maps at the moment, if not their best map. And Train, they haven't played it as much, but they've had some very dominant performances at the major. Then again, they ended up losing it pretty convincingly last week versus Na'Vi at Star Ladder. So it's going to be interesting to see. They're definitely a more practiced team than Fnatic is, but we've seen that that doesn't have to necessarily mean much in this series.
And just a step back to the conversation about best of fives, Chad, is it a safe assumption that the maps left as 4th, 5th, I guess 5th in this example, are going to be maps that neither team consider particularly strong for them, or is this just a question of tactics?
Oh, look, when we talk about FaZe, right, we say that they have a pretty strong map pool, or at least before coming into the last couple of months, we would have said they did. So these 5 maps that are left should be their strongest, because Cobble's definitely not. That's their permaban, and Nuke is always, you know, a little bit weird for them. So the fact that those two are out of the series because of the matchup means FaZe's map pool compared to Fnatic's should be much stronger. Sure. But Fnatic, well, actually both teams have shown chinks here. Like in the picks that we've lost, Overpass was FaZe's pick, they lost that. And then we just went on to Mirage, which was Fnatic's pick, and they lost that one. So coming into it doesn't even come down to that anymore. It's just about the plays that we're seeing, the individuals stepping up. Like over towards Ivy, we've got JW, who's a very aggressive player for this Fnatic roster. That's someone who I'd be watching going into Train.
And in terms of the other side of the coin, FaZe, I mean, there's so many names I'm sure you could list. Yanko, is there anyone that jumps off when you talk about Train?
I think for me, Reigns tends to have really good games on Train. You know, some of his highlight moments, even in previous lineups, have been with this team playing that outer bomb site mostly. And this is where you love to see all of Meister on B, right? Because he is such an intelligent player, can understand the situation in terms of, okay, do we have a numbers advantage? Do we not have a numbers advantage? How much money do they have? Will they be able to execute on me, or are they going to go for contact plays? The other side of things, probably an even more intelligent player playing the side, Flasha is one of the best at holding those passive angles. You know, Fnatic was notorious for really playing a retake setup on B. Flasha would play all the way towards the back of the site, just try to get a kill, because the T's, they know, they get into the site and they're not just looking to take the site and plant the bomb, they're looking to push back, and that's where you can get your kills if you're Flasha. But that puts a lot of pressure on some of these guys. You know, high pressure situations, retakes, for you to execute it, to be calm and have composure. It's going to be interesting to see how all of that unravels here on the 5th map.
And with JW on your screens as well, this man is infamous on this very map for doing silly things in Pop Dog. Chances are, though, in a best of 5 grand final, we may not be seeing the Mag 7 or some silly no scopes, but either way, it's something he's more than capable of pulling out.
And someone who's been very disappointed in his performance in that series against Na'Vi in Kiev last week was Guardian. He had a pretty quiet performance for what we're used to seeing from him in 2018, and seeing how he's been, you know, pretty impactful in this series, in this grand final so far. He is a guy who, when you're going for those retakes, completely, you know, breaks the mold. He is a guy who goes for that aggressive peak where you don't really expect it and gets a kill and completely dismantles your game plan. So if he can have a good game, that might be the deciding factor here for FaZe.
Something that's a common theme, I think, with FaZe on the T side to Train especially, is that just doesn't actually look like there's a lot of depth when they've got their, you know, back against the wall. There doesn't seem to be too many strategies that come out, and if the players don't step up individually, they're going to have a really tough time getting into this one, because Fnatic, they're here to play.
They're here to play, and so are we. Spodek, it's your final map. We will have a champion after Train. The fist bumps are in. Let me hear you one more time, Katowice. Get the players ready, because we're jumping in. It's time to find a champion to IM Katowice. All 5 maps. Let's go into Henry G and Sadakist. All 5 maps in that beautiful trophy. It could have Fnatic written on it once more, or FaZe could make amends for last year and finally engrave their name. We start on Train. A deciding map. We've not seen a lot of it between these two teams as of late, at least not in this event. Nico's going to try and push already to sandwich as FaZe start out on the T side. Rain makes contact first, and Nico capitalizes. JW goes searching for Rain. It doesn't realize that both have made forward progress in the site. Golden doing what he can, but he's going to be overrun, and so too is Crims.
Not really much the CT defense can do about this. FaZe with 4 players alive. It's just flusher now to try and deny something here. The bomb will be planted, but best he can get at this point, maybe 2 kills. We'll see if he gets even that close as he goes towards the Ivy position now. Gives it up as he fires a bullet and doesn't find any damage towards them. He has got armor and a kit. Believe it or not, Matt, he might as well consider saving those, but maybe there is an opportunity here. Takes down Nico as he gets ever closer to the bomb.
Does take down Nico. If he was quick enough to find the shots on Kerrigan, excuse me, Rain might not have been able to get the shot off quite so easily, and he would have had 2 isolated one-on-ones, but FaZe do control the situation. You're right, it might have been interesting if he'd saved that, but might as well go at that point after finding the first kill. And they're going to force off this Fnatic.
Of course, the scout will come out. Like we said, Crims considers himself a bit of a specialist with his weapon. The idea of the scout, not necessarily find all the headshots. Sure, it does have one-tap potential, but if you can tag players up and just set up alley-oops essentially for your pistol players, that's where it really comes into its own. And we'll see if Crims get anything going here at all. He'll go towards the main entrance there. No one's spotted. And 3 players towards Ivy, 4 FaZe here. Guardian, Carrigan, and Olofmeister committing. And it will be Golden on the other side to try and defend. He's got the Desert Eagle. Those have been fabulous for Fnatic, but he takes a flashbang to the face, and he'll be to bed relatively easily. Nade towards the bomb train now, and Lekro, he's a bit of a master with his weapon as well, but he takes another nade down to 6 HP.
Ooh. JW finds 2 kills against both Rain and Nico. I saw the HP bleeding out, but the kills came in a little bit later. He still manages to do it, and somehow stays alive with 100 HP, picks up an AK, and now he's going to reverse the tides upon Fnatic as they start to close in. Kerrigan gets taken down by the exact man that started it off. What a round. I didn't see exactly where the first 2 kills were. I know they were toward a main, but the fact that he got away with 0 damage is absolutely incredible. So here you go, top of the train. They climbed up directly toward him. And, oh,
wow, what a sicko. My goodness, JW with that CZ. Pulls it right back, and that was a 5-on-4 as well. As soon as he got the position, you could see how it all collapsed for the FaZe guy. Now, the force buy now. They'll have the CZs, the scouts, the Deagle. It's almost a mirror of the previous round. JW with the AK-47. Crimson on his scouts, and Flash will pick up a UMP here. Back and forth we go. 5th and final map. Always love to see that in the best of 5. 2 teams locking horns here. Fnatic looking to win a championship for the first time in 2 years. At one point, one of the most dominant organization in all of CSGO. Now Guardian and Carrigan make their way towards Ivy. Carrigan's managed to avoid the incendiary, and this could be everything. JW has no idea he's here, and there's the first kill. 5-on-4, can't pick up the rifle just yet.
The man who usurped them in the last round, the first to be undermined, and it's getting worse if you're Fnatic, because suddenly Guardian and Nico find 2 kills. Crims tries to deny the plant. He does get him off the plant, but doesn't get the kill, and Nico immediately with the shot back over the top of the Deagle puts us to just flusher. He gets 1 immediately. Nico holds true, finds a second from E-Box, and returns serve.
Well, you're absolutely right there. This is where CS becomes one of the most difficult games in the world, trying to break down teams that have CZs and Deagles. It's so challenging, so much pressure. The FaZe rising to the occasion. A double scout setup now for Fnatic. Desert Eagles, CZs, Crims and Lekro with the sniper rifles. So little to work with, but in the right hands, those pistols are so powerful. A CZ-75 especially. Nico tries to play behind the flames, not getting taken any damage there at all. So he's fine. The bomb's still down in T-spawn, so expect a slower approach here from FaZe. JW, though, caused so much damage from this position before. Can he do it again? Nico right around the corner. Won't be able to spot him, but still finds the frag. And JW gets the AK-47. Flushhead got tagged up in the crossfire there. Down to 4, but still alive and kicking. As they recover the AK, it will funnel FaZe towards the side.
Micro wasn't positioned. Surely this has to normalize as it gets caught out. AK still though for JW. That's how it worked last time. Flushhead, they don't know that he's here. He could easily sneak out. Crims has also been tagged with the scout, but can't get a shot back in. Kerrigan's low. JW gets 1 further. He's gonna get spotted though by Kerrigan, but he can't hit the shot, and therefore he has to back away toward the bomb train. That allows JW to get much closer yet again. Another flashbang out from Guardian, and that's just enough to find JW. It's Kerrigan though that suddenly, okay, I thought was gonna get caught off as he walked out toward Crims on the scout. And Fnatic do fall short despite getting the AK up early, and FaZe will get the first back-to-back rounds in this game.
There it is. They're the first team to break serve here, and it will be Fnatic taking the full eco on the CT side of train. Great news for FaZe. As Fnatic will be getting $2,400 into the next round. JW will just about be able to afford the AWP. Whether he does is yet to be seen. They didn't spend a single dollar here in round number 5. 3-1 is your overall scoreline for FaZe on the T side here, and NiKo's not slowing down anytime soon. But Lekro at least get the trade there. NiKo went for the full commitment, and they're trying to deny any sort of chance they pick up the weapon, but they have lost the full pistols before. Carrigan takes a few bullets to the face there as things become a little bit uncomfortable.
Olaf knows that Lekro is somewhere in the front side of A, or at least was getting aggressive. See if he gets bottom when he goes out. Oh my goodness, he barely got away with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to get the weapon out of their hands, and back and forth we go, but FaZe maintain their advantage. Crims on the outer bomb site. Flush up in the connector. Surely this should be over at this point. The range is just too much for these USPs to handle.
Shot of the AK exactly to your point. Same thing again for Flush as he tries to battle aggressively, walking out from Z connector. So 4-1 for FaZe. We get back to guns for Fnatic.
No AWP available, and one of the players has to take an SMG as well. They have one defuse kit, and this is where FaZe know they can start to have a bit of fun with their tactics. They know there's no AWP, probably no incendiaries. They want to do a full inside execution. They're going to have a lot of freedom to do so. Guardian is an absolute monster at points on train. Round 6, and what kind of pick is he going for? Normally roams towards the main entrance, but for now, looks like he's heading towards Pop Dog. Jumps straight down there. Willing to take the challenge, but so is Crims. And he'll take him down early 5-on-4, and he can even recover the AWP. No way they can get a trade.
Flash through. Lekro's gotten rain, but Olaf trades it back, and that allows the entrance from the ramp. Flasha has to play accordingly, even though he's one with the SMG. So expect that he just wants to preserve his angle and try and tackle the players in front of him down below, because he doesn't have the range to fire above, and that's exactly what he tries to do. As he slips out, he's going to continue on, but unfortunately gets caught off by Olaf before he can strike. Olaf burning, has to go up the ladder, 4 HP. Just barely survives. It gives the advantage surely to Fnatic, despite the bomb is down, but the flash turns that around as Carrigan steps up, but falls down quite literally off the train. That gives JW the kill. Molotov for Olaf.
There's another one as well. It has been extinguished for now, though. NiKo, so good in these situations. They'll both play towards upper. Essentially have 2 lives to try and deny the plants. And oh my goodness, Olaf Meister's done it. The smoke's still down. They're starting to flail now. They don't know what's going on. He can't find the bolt for the defuse, and Crims is on it. And will NiKo be able to find him? He will!
If that smoke lasted any longer, they might have gotten away with it. Crims couldn't find it fast enough, and NiKo, I think, was even confused by that because he couldn't find him in turn with the shots because of it. FaZe just barely get away with the round.
So touch and go. NiKo, 3 bullets remaining, has to pull out the Glock, and luckily the smoke dissipates. He takes no chances there. Stand still, get the Glock out. It was anyone's round at that point. You can see what it means to the FaZe boys. 5-1 Fnatic. They have been down like this before, but comeback certainly a possibility as number 7 comes in. Guardian going for his wallbang towards middle. Nothing connecting just yet. Pretty much full eco for Fnatic. They have got upgraded pistols here, CZs. A couple of sets of armor, but no nades, no diffuse kits. It's never stopped them before, though. Very well versed with the Desert Eagle. Number 7. What a fast-paced first half so far. They'll go towards inside. Full execution on the cards here. Smokes towards the lower ramp. Molotovs in the connector. Usually want to focus towards the upper ramp when you know they're on eco, because you have that bird's eye view of the bomb site, and you're able to just pick them off one by one. Actually be focusing towards lower. The bomb will be planted, flush it right at the back there. Can't really do much about it. No damage inflicted, and the bomb will be planted.
Smoke down and Olaf flirting with it. Additional one deployed. That one went a little bit further to the left within the connector, though, so it'll have a gap. Olaf won't be able to strafe back and forth quite so much, but it does allow him to see Lekro a little more easily. FaZe with weapons and bomb down have lost 1. No kills against Fnatic yet. Still the advantage firmly, surely. I say that with FaZe, and they sneak in behind. Golden slides up. That all fell apart due to the flank, and fell apart quickly.
It really did. Like I said, Fnatic, no stranger to the default pistols and Desert Eagles, and there will be a defuse just in the nick of time. Fnatic find a round out of nothing there. A couple of sets of armor, and the Deagles, the CZs, and FaZe, they fall apart. They got the initial kill there as well. They had everything going in their favor, but the flanks come in, the CZ start to roar. 5-2 now. Fnatic right back in this with the AWP in the hands of JW. And he won't be broken for FaZe just yet, but you can see signs of it. Nico just on a deagle here. 3 AKs and 4 players with almost no utility. Karrigan, Guardian, Rain, no nades whatsoever. Nico just has 1 smoke, which is already gone. So this is a desperate round for them, where Fnatic should have quite the lead.
Interesting application of a smoke for Crims. Typically you don't see that at the bottom of Pop Dog. Perhaps preemptive to the fact that Molotov's going down. It also gives him a bit of a cheeky angle toward where Nico's trying to see through. It certainly limits him if they go down, so clever. Not that common, but it could certainly work. Especially if they committed to that without looking down and spotting it first, as many players do like to jump off the back of a flash. Guardian already down off the catwalk, has Nico on his left side. It was Guardian. I thought that was the deagle that connected, but it was Guardian on the AWP to find the kill instead. Here's the angle. You can see the corpse laying against the wall as Nico this time, much like Olaf, wants to get aggressive. Same situation outside of the connector. Deagle for Nico, likely as proficient as the Mac 10 for Olaf in many situations, and he spots directly above him exactly that, because he's got another one on JW. And suddenly, Crims is left very lonely.
Yeah, that was pretty unbelievable. Nico with the shot from hell there with the Desert Eagle, waiting patiently behind the smoke. And as we said, FaZe were a little bit desperate there, going all in with almost no grenades.
In the last 9 games untrained, they've lost twice, both to FaZe. That's the stat for Fnatic. That says something.
Doesn't bode well, does it?
Time to break that curse would be now, if ever.
Shot from Nico above him as well. It's one of the hardest sort of positions to shoot on in CSGO. Anything you have to shoot up with is incredibly difficult, and Nico makes it look easy. Forced by now for the Swedes. They'll be bringing out M4s, 2 pistols, and flush out with the AWP, no armor. See if there's anything available to them. If they lose this round, this half could spiral out of control. They have managed to win 1 eco so far. Can they do it again? This time on the force buy. Towards the end of Ivy, won't do too much damage there. Molotov in, and Lekro stepping up with the CZ, stepping up, but not quite enough. JW though, he'll pick up the pieces and give them the man advantage.
It certainly was enough for that reason alone. Like you say, JW was able to slip up and capitalize on it, but perhaps overstays his welcome on top of the train, and Guardian is able to get an angle. He often does. Apparently, though, that's not going to sway much in their favor, because suddenly it's all turned back. Golden with a deal will close out on Karrigan. Good shots again from Flusha and Crims. They seem to be matching each other in that regard. 9 kills, JW leads the way. Tied that with that of Olaf and Guardian on the other side. And a timeout for FaZe. Their first of 4. They're going to use it now, knowing that their money is on the cusp.
Oh, yes.
And so too would Fnatic's be. So do they try and force to break them, or do they just accept it and wait it out?
Back and forth we go. The 5th and final map of this epic best of 5. FaZe have been struggling in grand finals, and Fnatic seem to be getting better and better as the series goes on. Here we go, back into it. What's the decision from FaZe? It looks like they will be going all in. Guardian yet to buy. He's got $3,600. Does he even want to join them? Does he want to limit his options of getting the AWP out? Looks like the answer is yes. Yes, he gives the AK to Rainman, and he'll be staying on the Deagle. So he trusts in his star player, his star rifler, to step up with his money as we go into round number 10 here. Flush up AWP this time, not JW. 2 pistols. I'll make it 1. Nico's got the SMG.
Karrigan and Nico together. You're right, with Flusha down below, so close. And smartly, they bypass that angle by going over top of the railing. Certainly be revealed. Flush actually sensed it. Molotov behind him. Did it fail? It failed. It did. It hit the edge of the train. So broke in the air and therefore didn't land. He gets back off without taking damage, but stay alive to catch off Nico. JW's down. Watch inside Pop Dog because it's Golden and Lekro that are finding the kills. Golden well out toward Ivy is playing the backtracks rather passively, yet they are walking toward him, and Flush is staying alive after getting through that. Molotov is going to close the round himself. We're now 2 rounds apart.
They negate the force buy of FaZe, and Fnatic with a clinical round number 10 there. They're going to be able to stabilize and send FaZe into disarray here. They'll have to take the full eco at this point as they get back into it round by round. That's now 2 in a row for them. They've won 3 out of the last 4. And now FaZe with nothing more than just 5 Glocks, no armor, no grenades, not even one flashbang to get them into a position. So this is looking like a guaranteed 6-5. And at that point, the loss bonus will be at the 3rd stage. You've got 2K per player right now. They'll get $2,400 into the next. So Guardian, just to know, a very important note, cannot buy the AWP after dropping Ray and AK-47 before. So $2,000 for him at this point.
Golden this time with no utility in front of him, tries to go for the peak. Anything he can throw at them, he will. It included as JW holds off Sandwich. Nico wants through. Alone for now, he will have people behind him eventually. He might need them because Golden standing tall as Crims to come in aid, and he'll find Olaf as well. Bomb down, he'll confirm that, call it out. And Little Rain can do.
Not really much he can, man, no. Glock up against 5. No armor, and he will do some damage. Just trying to make things a bit frustrating there, but there it is. Clean sweep for Fnatic. As I mentioned, Guardian cannot buy the AWP here. That is very important information. It's such an AWP-centric map. Flush has got the AWP. They had to call a timeout right now, rightly so. They need to work out how they operate here. Without the ability to open up those first picks with the long-range sniper. Will they go for a set piece? Will they go towards inside? That's where they favored mainly up until now. Second timeout for FaZe so far. We haven't seen Fnatic really change the pace. It's been such a back and forth game. They haven't really been able to establish themselves. Think we've got some money here. We've got them on the ropes. We can hit them with 3 players pushing inside or pushing Ivy, trying to get the first pick towards main. They've tried some of that on there, obviously forced by rounds of the CZs. I'd like to see them kind of mix things up, even just position the AWP towards the upper ramp at this point, just to kind of shuffle things around and not let FaZe get comfortable with their current setup. We'll have a look though. I'll try and look out for any changes as they leave the spawn. Nice healthy buy for Fnatic. They've got lots of residual cash as well. Where does Flush ahead with this one? He's going towards the lower ramp, Matt. So this is the change. Does he go for the shotgun style lower ramp, or does he push all the way around the corner? Looks like it's the former.
He started here last time with the AWP as well. Got 1 kill as he fell off the angle, and then had 2 when he rotated over toward A. This time, you're right in saying that it was possible. He tries to change that and get aggressive. No AWP for Guardian. Trying to spot the positions right now as Nico looks like he wants to try and play for a pick. Guardian sitting on top of the dumpster, well back, waiting for the opportunity if Nico gets one. I thought maybe some sort of interesting execution, but smokes out toward long, but really it's just going to be straightforward on the default as they go for the run boost across. This is eventually going to be red. Like Golden is the one playing Ivy, not the AWP, which gives Fnatic a chance to surprise them by rotating one there. But I wouldn't be surprised if FaZe start to try and pressure Golden. We have talked about it. Yes, he's been tremendous as an in-game leader, but he's been inconsistent in fragging. He's, so far in this series, I think, been very impressive.
I think so as well. Big fan of what he's accomplished. Barely been on the scene in terms of this level for a year, and see if he can maybe get his team over the finish line here. This round will tie things up at 6-6 if they can pick it up. Olaf Meister doing everything he can to deny that with a nice double frag there towards the bomb tie. Hungry for more as well. Dancing around, can't find it. Golden will take him down. He's got that AK, but not for long. Nico brings it into a 4-on-2.
And that all comes from Ivy. They force Golden off it. They may not have gotten the kill on him right away, but it causes a rotation. It gives them Sandwich for main, and then Ivy all together in tandem. They took the site in style, and Flusha goes down despite 1 kill on the AWP. And Guardian happily picks that up. They'll take it over to the FaZe side. You said it. There's lots of residual cash for Fnatic.
Oh, yes. Plenty.
But they have to certainly answer that round, because that's going to be something FaZe could almost go back to, the way that that worked so successfully. Little utility, just a single smoke on the left side of Ivy, and then then Olaf running in, as he so often has done.
Yeah, look at him go. Round number 13. Both teams fully equipped, but Fnatic, their money starting to dry up now. Everyone fully invested. JW back on the orb now. As Flusha before us. Nico's not wasting any time here. He comes out of main entrance, but JW, he'll strike first. Damage inflicted towards Crims, but no kill picked up and no chance for trade. It was brave from Nico, and his teammates have to act quickly here. They'll adjust. They'll go towards inside. I might just throw one smoke down and go all in. The bomb is there. All 4 players at the brown horse for now. Flusha and Lekro waiting on the other side. They don't have to peel someone off here. And there is a high chance the inside play comes in. Guardian will be smoking the connector as they set things up. Has to be the execute now. They've lost too much map control to go back. Smokes in, flashes over. deep breath. Can they find the first pick? Flush is waiting with the M4 on the other side.
Carrigan down the lane. Molotov this time does land on top of the train. It's Olaf combined with the aforementioned in-game leader that gets the first kill. And he takes Lekro cleanly, does Carrigan, as he pushes up again to play the backside of this smoke. They've been 1 for 1 when they've tried this. This time with an AK. 10 Deagle, AK. AK seems to work just as well as the Deagle did as it gets Golden on top of the mid-train. Still they have Crims trying to work up, the top sidewalk. I don't think so. Yes, they had residual cash, but that only goes so far, and a great read from Carrigan as he cuts off Crims towards spawn. JW needs to hold on to this AWP. As we're going to head into round 14, there won't be much to work with.
Definitely won't be. And JW, I think he'll be going down eventually. He has got a smoke to protect him, but players towards outside as well. They're coming in from Ivy as he'll be absolutely taken down there. Good adjustment from FaZe. They lost their first pick. They took a gamble, sending Nico out of his good spawn. He did damage towards Crims, but ultimately got nothing. They adjust. They go towards inside. Smokes down. Olaf Meister striking first. Carrigan some great shots. And they pushed right down. They were stifling for the CTs. They couldn't even get through the connector. A5, I think this has to be the full eco, or is it? What have they gone for? They've gone all in map. Every player on Fnatic is fully invested. Scouts, Deagle, CZs, MP9. It's worked out in the past. They'll need it more than ever now.
It's so risky, though, considering you still have round 15 to come up next.
Oh, that's the whole idea, though, the risk.
A reward, I guess. It could lead us to a 10-5 half.
Oh, the damage, look at that!
That's extremely significant, and all of a sudden, the 4 spawn looks brilliant. Carrigan down as well into the site, but he's one of only 2 players left with 100 HP. Olaf left with 38. Guardian at least gets one back on the AWP. Flush is going to try and push, try and catch them off. Bomb gets planted, so he can't deny that, but still he'll do battle, and JW and he combine. Olaf as well. Carrigan has the high ground, has the AK, but does he have the balls to go for this with everyone peeking, including Lekro? And the force works, I eat my words.
You absolutely do. The CZ prevails again. How many times, and FaZe going to be a little bit disappointed with their approach there, going all in towards inside. We've talked about it many times on many different maps. When you know you're up against a force bar, you have to ascertain what you're up against first. Is there an inside stack? And they go 3 players towards the upper hand, take 2 nades in the face. You saw those nukes deployed at the top. It did so much damage at the very start, made everyone very weak, and the CZs just come to life at that point, and FaZe are shut down. They will still have money for the final round of the first half here, but this is still anyone's game. It's wide open. Sure, FaZe have won the half on the T side, but that's no foregone conclusion by any stretch. There's plenty of CS to be played. And Fnatic looking to find the final round now. All back in the hands of Flush Up. And Nico will be going for that aggressive pick anytime soon. He'll be out of bay by the utility. Golden spots 1 towards Ivy, and will drop the smoke in due course.
Guardian has a gap in that smoke. Forward of the server, making it harder to retreat. A little bit of a narrower choke point he has to fall back on, but he's not falling back. He's not going anywhere. He walks in with the first kill cleanly on gold, and it's next in line to JW. Hasn't exactly played reverse side of the box, however, he's going to slide out, but Guardian again goes aggressive. Lekro makes up for it, finally puts the AWP player down. You're right in saying that Crims also found a kill in the mix to leave us with just Nico, because Olaf done by Lekro as well, and Nico's giving away his position. Oh my goodness, Lekro.
That's wonderful. Like I said, this is still anyone's game. Absolutely so. Fnatic pulling back to 8-7. And they are very well versed on training. They win the pistol. They're right back in this one. This grand final's coming to a head. One more half to be played, ladies and gentlemen. You have to come back to after the break to see how this one finishes up.
You ready? Huh? Hey, easy boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
You can forget the first 4 maps. I would forgive you because we have a reset. In fact, you can almost forget the first half. It is 8-7, as close as you dare make the score on the last map, the last half. I say the last half. God knows, we might have a few more the way this is going.
Yeah. We're opening things up at cash. It didn't seem like it'd be the most exciting final, but Fnatic have turned up in spades. We get into the first round of the final half. Ladies and gentlemen, Fnatic 7, FaZe Clan 8. Let's get back into the action. And we'll have a look at the buys on either side. Fnatic with 3 sets of armor, 2 smokes, 3 flashbangs, 8 G grenades. This will be very tactical. And we'll see if they can manage to tie things up right here, right now. Diffuse getting smoke available for Karrigan. In terms of the general approach, they're sending 3 players towards Popdog, and outside fast tactic being deployed.
Fast smoke from Crims went to Z. They flashed over top as well, and they ran it down, but they're running into a wall. Karrigan and Rain each finding a kill, but Golden's making amends to it. He's making up for it, certainly, as he gets on top of the bomb train as well. Olaf might be able to slide in and catch him off. Knew where he was, but in going for him, and in a fixed fashion, he certainly overextended, allowing Crims to get the response. Karrigan, all that's left. And speaking of response, a great one from Fnatic. They're going to take the bomb over toward B, knowing that Karrigan still exists somewhere out there and could be a problem for them.
Yeah, Karrigan should be out of this equation now. Sure, he's got a smoke and a diffuse kit, but he's so far removed. He has no information as to where Fnatic have positioned themselves towards, but they're offering themselves up, and Karrigan does get one. Now it gets interesting. Smoke on top of the bomb, and you can see Crims waiting in the upper ramp.
Smoke on the bomb, you can account the fact that he's going to hold this because it's a Glock. He's going to hope that the Glock can't find the angle. Glock goes out early! Never mind! That's why he's there and not me. He's outsmarted everyone, pulls them out, gets on it, gets off it, finds the kill, and finds the round for FaZe.
FaZe up, apparently. That's lovely from Karrigan. I have to say, though, flusha caught out of position. There was no need for it. This play, one on the bomb side, one in upper, play off each other, bait it up. They played those 2 separate one-on-ones. No need at all. flusha, sure, I get it. You're trying to do, trying to get in a really strong position, but too high risk, and it gives up the round. 9-7. Karrigan wins it. The 2 versus 1, maybe one of the most important clutches he'll win in this tournament. As we'll get into the second round here. Remember, the bomb was planted, so Fnatic will take the full eco here and bring out the AK-47s in the third.
Take the windows out, as per typical quota. flusha's going to rotate around as well toward Brown Halls. Bomb included in that because it is much easier, shall we say, to get a bomb plant on the B site than it is on A, especially with pistols. Having gotten a plant in the first round, not buying much in this. I think that already tells you exactly what the game plan is. And that nade, oh, the damage already done. Gets 1 kill and only 1 kill, but it doesn't matter because Guardian's gonna get the rest of them, and Guardian in doing that, although it is on a rifle, will still get some money in the pocket toward the AWP. He's gonna sit back for now, and they know, which is why they went toward FAMAS's rather than SMGs, that these guns are coming early.
AK's out in full force here. Smokes, flashbangs, Molotovs as well. It's actually looking quite promising. And number 18 has a lot of weight behind him. For masses, UMPs, and that 1 M4 in the hands of Karrigan. We'll go towards outside for now. Electro holding up a position, actually going towards the Brown Halls, in fact. No one at Ivy. This looks like an outside fake, maybe from JW, as his teammates get ready to go towards inside. They have the incendiary ready and waiting. Olaf deploys it. He repositions and call for Guardian to rotate in. Remember, Guardian, no orb. He has a FAMAS. Olaf, same story. 3 players towards upper. And this is where JW will try and cause a bit of a ruse. Try and find that first pick. Peel one of those players away, but final play comes in. JW goes down, but Golden replies quickly.
Needed to as well. Can't afford to give away the lead too easily with these AKs up. Now they've got one. They've taken Olaf out of it. As Crims snuck in, they went from upper, so Olaf was actually cut off by that smoke and wasn't ready for the fight. Didn't even get a shot off in return. The nade damage on Electro significant, but so too the damage turned back on Rain, and oh my goodness, Karrigan, no one's even looking. No one's checking it. In for 1. Silenced and deadly. He takes down Lekro on the second, and he's going to put flames at the feet of the ramp. That's going to force Crims forward, and thankfully Crims does land the shot, but look at the HP. It's almost level as Rain and Crims are both very low, but Rain wasn't accounting for the grabs that Crims was underneath of the angle. So 1-on-1 for Nico, and the smoke is bounced far away from the bomb, not on top of it. flusha controls.
Well played Fnatic there. Carrigan, I thought he did enough. Those 2 frags were great. Couldn't find the third. Perfect play with the incendiary, and Nico left in the 1 versus 1. This is the play. So when he gets the incendiary towards that position right there, I thought that kill was his for sure. But Crims, he goes above and beyond. That's a very important frag. And we'll go into round number 19 here. 10-8 is your scoreline here. The winner of this map will be IEM Katowice 2018 champions. A new champion. Astralis won it here last time.
You say new. Well, I get what you mean, not a repeat, but Fnatic, it would be their 3rd IEM World Championships. That is unprecedented by any other organization. And you mentioned it earlier as well, one of the most dominant periods ended for them at this event 2 years ago. I would say most dominant period ever in CSGO. You can talk about SK, maybe, you know, taking the throne away from them, but they never had a period with that much success. 6 rounds in a row, or excuse me, 6 tournaments in a row for Fnatic as it was. I think 7 overall, only lost 1 in that period.
But then it went very quiet.
It did. Started off with an all-off injury for those of you who don't recall.
Well, here we go, the outside approach. Lekro and Golden towards the end of Ivy right now. The bomb's still down in T-spawn. And we're looking for opening picks here, but they need to wait for their teammates to be ready as well. Both looking towards either side of the Ivy. They can smoke off towards the left-hand side and try and make their play. Carrigan resides by the bomb train here. Dodges the flashbang, can't avoid the bullets though. Golden takes him down with the Galil.
Goes still at Sandwich, has the option to swing. In fact, he doesn't even need to. They're going to run directly toward him. But in the time that he let them get close, so too do they to him as Crims gets behind. He gets the assist for Guardian as well.
There we go. That should be the round now. 4 versus 1. Olof Meiser just with the MP9. Well played by Fnatic, well coordinated. That was the force buy from FaZe. Didn't really get much with it at all. 1 kill picked up by Nico. Clean stuff from Fnatic. That should send him on to Nico and ties up a 10-10.
Olaf at least going to survive. It's the AK-47.
Yeah.
But that's all they're going to have.
Yeah, they can't force up around that.
Fnatic can't chase either. They need to keep their 3 guns up. Because they... Okay, fair enough. Golden got to him fast enough. I didn't think it was really justifiable, but makes it work. So absolutely nothing for FaZe. The point I was going to make is that they could find themselves on 10-10, and that would be when guns come back out. They want to have some residual cash to keep this game going the distance. No timeouts called. They're just going to get back underway, and FaZe has 2 timeouts left. Remember, they called 2 in the first half. They know not much really to talk about this time. Just get it over with.
Yeah, this is a full eco. No CZs or Deagles, diffuse kits, grenades, nothing like that. It can sometimes work, believe it or not, but overall, this should be a very clean experience for Fnatic, like I said, tying us up at 10-10. It's never as clean as saying it's a C-decided map. They only got 7 rounds. They can always bounce back because JW will get 2. Necro on the bomb train. Rain just trying to steal 1 away, but unless he gets the instinct, a couple of headshots there wasn't meant to be. And there we go, right back in the driving seat. Lots of money farmed. Fnatic with around 5K even after the reinvestments per player. And no orb for Guardian once again. I've said that a lot on Train. He has been struggling to keep that weapon in his hand. Rain, 7 kills, 14 deaths, and what should be one of his best maps historically, not even in this lineup. He's done so much great work throughout CSGO on Train. Right at the bottom there. Nico, 13-17.
Olaf, the only one to be. As soon as I say that, though, they realize the situation and that the utility's gone that direction and bring Guardian back over as well. Not a single op in the round. Grow it toward Ivy will battle against Kerrigan. Smoke's deployed from either of them, but perhaps better timing for Kerrigan's in that Lekro wanted to try and isolate him, but he's now locked out. And won't have another smoke to work with. Obviously, I say that, but somehow he gets Kerrigan through it.
That's great from Lekro. Remember, this is the buy where FaZe is struggling. Almost no utility, and Lekro's picking them limb from limb, my goodness! Lekro! That is beautiful Counter-Strike, showing how much skill this young man has. Unbelievably good there. Comes out of the Ivy. He's supposed to be the distraction man. He's supposed to get 1 kill and go down and pull a rotation. He just takes the entire team with him. And he stays alive And he'll be able to tell the tale in the next round as well. What an amazing round.
Clean and crisp as he walks in. He's got 18 kills. He was slow on Cash. He was very slow to get started on Mirage. Did get there in the end at a brilliant CT side, but not enough. Now he's on top of the leaderboard. And this forces out the third timeout for FaZe. We talked about 10-10. Now we might be talking about 12-10 because, again, there's no money left over on the CT side. 5 AKs will stay up for Fnatic as a result.
Lekr0 proving he can handle it. On the grand final stage, that was one of the question marks around this team. Could the young boys manage to hold their nerve? And Lekr0, a resounding yes comes from him. As we get into round number 22, another full eco. FaZe feeling the pressure now. Another grand final could slip by them. 11-10 in favor of Fnatic.
Golden already out from A main. So too was JW, but the shot comes back. You're right, Lekr0 with another. And despite the flash went out toward Pop Dog, they get away from it, they get away from the danger, and Golden will march toward the site. Spotted is Flusha. So too did he spot Guardian in return, and that allows the AKs to pounce upon his position. Nico's gonna try and be clever on a flank, but surely he can't get more than one in this situation, and Lekr0 doesn't even allow that. Continuing to be impressive, he finds yet another 3 kills.
He's really warming up into this now. 21 kills.
Look at the money for Fnatic as well. This is a battle. If FaZe won into this, they've got it's going to take 2 rounds, maybe even 3, depending on bomb plants to break them down.
This is looking excellent for Fnatic, you're right. Lots of money. They're dictating the pace. Their star players showing up. The young boys showing them how it's done as well. And there will be a double orb set up now for FaZe. Guardian and Nico. It always comes out when things get a bit desperate. This will be the first time they've shown this. Nico tries to open things up in terms of the positioning. Olof alone inside. Guardian the connector. Nico orbs towards Ivy. It's been a massive problem for them. That's where they're losing the majority of their kills.
Flusha's going to work it past the ramp. So Olof has to play it off the side of the smoke, wants to get a little more aggressive. He hasn't been super successful in this position so far on the CT side. In fact, he's going to change it up. But Fnatic is more than comfortable in setting and letting this time tick down while they play the default. They've got a lot to work with still at 1:05-ish. Double up. Guardian and Nico. Nico toward Hell, but Guardian is already inside of B. Golden will be the distraction this time, not Lekr0. At Ivy as the smoke dissipates. There'll be another one. Oh, excuse me, flashbang. I'm going to say another smoke deployed. Nade.
Wow.
Tags him in the forehead. Kerrigan would have heard that as well, surely. And in hearing that alone, Nico and Kerrigan are both staring in that position. This might be the right time for Fnatic to strike on B, because they do have that very minor distraction that favors them in timing.
Remember, though, Guardian back on the AWP. He'll be looking towards the upper ramp, but the timings elude him. They've actually snuck out, and he'll at least hit the first shot. Can he get another? No! Grims denies everything, and Olof Meister with a lot of pressure here. Can only find one, and Grims looking to find the transitioning players. It's still equal for now, 2-on-2, but Golden, he's down at the backtracks.
They surely know that he rotated that direction because he was the one that came in from Ivy, the one that Kerrigan would have called that there was contact with. And there's no other way that he would have gotten to the site that quickly, but he actually one-ups them yet again, and rather than stay directly below the ramp, goes over toward the high side and makes a brilliant shot to connector. Nico, the last alive, has to go in with the AWP. Remember, there's not a lot of money on the FaZe side. There is for Fnatic.
He might have to save.
Exactly, he might have to keep this AWP. He's going to. Fnatic are going to be 3 rounds away.
Absolutely. Maximum loss bonus, but that's not enough in the CT force. If Nico gives up that AWP in a situation where he's unlikely to win, they have to eco again. If he saves the AWP, though, they can force up around that. They can go with FAMASTIS and have the AWP and hope Guardian goes absolutely wild. This is looking perfect now from Fnatic. 6 rounds in a row. They lost the first half, 8-7 on their CT side. This is looking excellent, though, and he's one of the instrumental players on your screen right now. Lekr0, what a player he has become. Golden with the great plays there, though, man. Getting in the backtracks, completely bamboozling them as they rotate in. Holding his nerve, hitting the shots required. And, of course, yes, take the pause, the final pause for FaZe here on this map. They have the AWP, and each player hovering around the 4K mark. I would say they almost certainly force into this one. They could take a partial buy and play the safe game, but I feel like they need Guardian to step up here right now.
It's a very convincing stat. 63% on the AWP, 84% the opening kill.
That's a great percentage to have, but they will force indeed. So What's the final buy? I can break it down for you now. AWP for Guardian, UMP for Rain, 3 M4s, little utility, 1 defuse kit. I want to see Guardian get stuck in here. Let's go for an opening kill. Let's challenge at the start. And here we go. Fnatic with a big lead here on the T side of Train. Is it enough?
And don't discount Crims from the last round either. That one trade kill he got on Guardian opened the site. It's now Guardian that's going to play Z-Connector instead. Can still rotate. More passive this time from Fnatic. They won't go to Ivy immediately. But Nico's not going to sit around to support Kerrigan either. He wants to play with Rain. They want to get aggressive. Might have to. JW and Hot Dog spraying through. That's going to reveal that he's there. Not a lot of pressure from FaZe in return on Pop Dog on the CT side, by the way. A lot of teams will have a player that likes to go there by default almost.
They've got Nico and Rain playing in front of smokes right now. They're both hovering around the E-box. They're actively challenging that is not inside the Pop Dog room. You can see Nico ready for the duel there, just behind the box right now. Nico will be backed up by Rain. It's Guardian who patrols inside by himself. It didn't go for the aggressive pick at the very start. Just wants to be the turret inside. Try and hit the shots required, but it's such a difficult role with the AWP. You have to watch between upper and lower. The timings can be brutal sometimes. 1 minute remaining. Still with one smoke and a few flashbang. Crims commits. So does JW. Can't find Rain.
Good find. Good forward stance. This is why they wanted it. They wanted to shut down Fnatic in their tracks. Don't let them get any ground to walk on. And Nico's taking that ground, and he's slamming them into it. Flush it down as well. And FaZe, on a last-ditch effort on a 4-spy, will bring this back ever so slightly and get their 11th.
Excellent stuff from Nico there. You're absolutely right. Playing in front of those smokes, any execution potential they've got, you're shutting it down. You're taking the jewels. It's still high risk, sure, but you got players like Nico and Rain going in tandem in that sort of position. You got a very good chance of winning it. 13-11. Not close to breaking the money just yet. A couple of players hovering on the 2K mark, but we saw Golden with $8,000. Round number 25. We're going the full distance here, ladies and gentlemen. The champion will truly be tested as Guardian gets the first shot. This is more like it from FaZe. First 2 kills for them. Guardian and Kerrigan changing things up. And that's what they have to be doing. They can't stay static every single round as Guardian gets his second 5-on-2. Flusher and Lekro will try and see what's available to them towards inside. Flusher has sneaked in, but of course the bomb's so far away. It's not like this does an amazing amount of work for him. But if he does get all the way towards CT spawn, perhaps, undetected, maybe this has a chance to him. Who knows? Olof will have no idea that he's already made his way in.
Needs to be quick to find that kill, however. Definitely spots him. Oh, not only does he spot him, thank you very much!
Oh, wow, no way. No way he wins this.
And not only that, he's caused a full rotation from Ivy, from Rain, and sort of inside of Z-Connector. If Flusha gets one more kill on this, Lekro's got the whole map to play with. He's hoping that Flusha can anchor this position down, but he has the option to go back to A and look at Flusha go, my God. This would be a harsh reset on 14 rounds for Fnatic, and that smoke is tantalizing! Oh! Flusha! He's gonna clean out Connector. It's just Nico yet again who has to try and pull it back, and he's got the AK-47. Some utility in a kit to do so, and Lekro is taking his sweet time to make sure he figures this out. Now this is interesting because now it's return favor. Nico's snuck around behind Flusha, and he could actually spoil the whole plan, as sneaky as Flusha was. No way! Oh my God!
That is one of the most impressive clutches you will ever see. My God, Flusha, what was that?
An ace as well to do it.
So sick. We even brought that up. He said, well, it won't do much for him here, but if he does get to the backtracks, maybe there's a chance. And my God, if ever there was one, he will capitalize on it. Flusha saves the day and maybe the championship for Fnatic here. Money in disarray for FaZe once again. They'll scrape together a bye, but 14-11. He might have just done it there and then. What an absolute beast.
There's a few hands clasped together. Certainly for Fnatic's hopes, and what a round. I thought maybe Nico gets in behind. Lekro was waiting for the call on where to go the whole time that Flusha was going to work, and he was walking in toward B, thinking that he'd finally made space. If Nico had gotten Flusha down, Lekro might have had problems. And what a way to solve it as well. Turns around with an incredible shot.
We've had Guardian 1 versus 5 on Overpass. We've had Flusha in that situation. It wasn't 1 versus 5, it might as well have been. He gets all the kills. Lekro had to do nothing there. That was godlike. I don't often use that term, but that was pretty unbelievable. What a play in the grand final just when his team needs it. Is it enough to get them over the finish line? Time will tell. The force spike came in. Remember, FAMAS, UMP, Guardian does have the orb. And JW makes his way out. Guardian suspects it though, takes him down. 5-on-4.
all in for Spy. Emphasis on that kill there for Kerrigan. Corner wants to play forward of utility yet again, knowing that they've been isolated, but Golden reads him perfectly. And he's going to put a smoke additionally to the right and the left so they can work through. Good angle, though, from Nico, and he actually gets more than he bargained for. Catches out Lekro and Golden, who was low enough from the first exchange. Not done quite yet for Fnatic. Molotov goes down on the backtracks. Bomb is that direction after the first 2 kills from Nico. Crims and Flusha yet again.
Oh, yes.
Nico to Crims, though, that should be the round because Bomb this time is held by FaZe.
Flusha up against it once more. He has got time on his side. Olofmeister pushes the Ivy, checks in towards that dumpster. He at least knows that Flusha can't get anywhere near the bomb, at least from the Ivy position. He goes towards main. Nico is there. He finds the first shot. They'll start to get a little bit worried. He will check it, of course he will. It's Flusha. Great work. 3 versus 1 now. It does take a bit of damage there.
From range. Couldn't do anything further to take guns down. That's all he was hoping for at that point in time, surely. Money has been chipped away at, slowly but surely. So yes, okay, they'll have a buy left over for Fnatic this time, but it could be their last.
Whenever they've gone into overtime on Train, they've lost 0-3. That is FaZe.
Remember as well that the first time we had...
That's right, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, the overtime deciders, when it used to be the tiebreak format, it was FaZe's former roster, obviously, that was here last year with Alu and Kiyoshima. They actually won that on Train, so it's not like overtime's directly the problem. It's just been circumstantial, obviously, in that situation.
Well, here we go, then. FaZe can lose their loss bonus. And with the investment of grenades down to $0 per player, this has to be a consecutive victory for them. 1 on its own won't be enough. Lose this. It's championship point for Fnatic. They'll have no money. A must-win round. Nothing else will do. It's available. A little bit of utility as well. It's definitely not amazingly healthy. Fnatic got lower money as well, so if FaZe can pick this one up, that should tie it up at 14-14. Towards inside they go. Golden is the bait towards Ivy this time, as you can see. By himself, 4 players in the brown halls. Olofmeister and Guardian to defend. Guardian, of course, has the AWP towards that upper ramp. Watching it like a hawk, making sure no one can get through.
So 6 rounds in a row, back and forth for 3. We said it would take about 3 rounds to break Fnatic down, essentially even with a win. That was 3 rounds. 1,900 to the next if they don't succeed now. Bomb plant had the $800 on that. It leaves money for Flusha and Lekro. The rest are not in a position to buy. So it might be a 14-14 game if they're not careful here. Golden tagged considerably. Kerrigan won't know that, but Nico checks it nonetheless. JW catches off Olaf back to me. They've got to rotate. Big miss as well from Guardian. JW's going to try and get closer yet again to the smokes. Success in many situations in this position. He's actually going to play within the gray screen. A lot of times they've been sitting back, but that smoke dissipates, and Nico's well and truly ready for it. Pressure to Flusha and Lekro yet again. Bomb planted already this time, but so too is everyone at the ready. Inside of the site, Flusha, Lekro, each finding kills, but they know exactly where they are. Flusha's got to go out. He's got to go toward this. Tries to fill the pistol. Anything to get them off the bomb. A bullet would do. Kerrigan's going to stare him down, but now he's back on top of it. He's got to get ready to hold this as Rain has to be the Guardian on top of it. No! He's got it, but not in time. FaZe got the defuse. They just barely, but they do.
My God, this grand final is delivering. It's not even clear who's winning the rounds at this point. FaZe do get the full defuse. It felt like Flusha had full control. It's just peppering them with bullets there. My God, with the bomb planted, they got 1 more buy left. Same thing applies. Whoever wins this. Oh, you can see Nico wasn't even sure. Oh, my boy. Let's go. CZs, Deagles, are they all in? They're not quite. They've taken a partial buy here, Fanatics, and they're going to allow FaZe essentially to get to it. But Flusha does open things up with that AK. Kerrigan replies, so much damage inflicted to Lekro.
It's the AK that he carried over. They wanted to go with pace to try and catch off FaZe. It works for 1 kill. AK's not grabbable as of yet, just behind Golden to the right, but that means putting himself in the open to try and get toward it. And this is the situation I was talking about getting to 14-14. So Fnatic's made, in my opinion, the right call here because they'll still have a buy available. And forcing here might have put them playing for overtime, which isn't worth it in map 5 of a grand final, in which you still have something to play for. So Crims and JW make that just Crims against 3. Has picked up an M4, does have the bomb, does have armor, but he's trying to bait them out into one-on-ones. I've said that before in a phrase. When a clutch was possible, and thankfully Guardian gets in position fast enough because Crims nearly gets away into isolating them. 14-14, here we go.
They almost line up from there. That didn't seem like the correct play to me, but they make it work. We are going the full distance, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever happens, we're playing 30 rounds here. Money back in favor for Fnatic. Both teams will be fully equipped here. Fnatic called the timeout. All roads lead here for both of these teams. Who will be crowned the champion? 24 kills for Guardian, 24 kills for Nico. 25 for flusha. Lekro, what a performance he's had, 22 kills. One of the most exciting games of the entire tournament. Perfect finish here for the grand final. And Rain will be down to the UMP. Guardian still has his orb. This could decide the championship this round map. Both teams very weak in terms of money. Depending whether bombs get planted or weapons are saved, this could be it.
Not quite as fast as last round for obvious reasons for Fnatic. They've got guns to work with and they want to pick this apart. We haven't seen it. I said it before. A lot of pressure toward PopDog from FaZe throughout this game. And as a result of that, Fnatic was actually taking it very early. This time, Nico is actually already in position down below, and Flush is going to try double flash Molotov as well. Nico's stuck in the corner. Nico's stuck in the corner, but he still finds a kill. He burns alive. His own Molotov. It may not matter, though, because Nico and Rain and Kerrigan again have the kills. It's Crims versus 3. He's got the first one already. He still has the bomb to work with and 100 HP, but he has absolutely zero information as to where the other two are.
Well, Crims in a 1 versus 2. I've said this line before. He is one of the most intelligent players in clutch situations. It's so difficult to beat him regardless of the numbers against him. He has a minute to work with and 2 kills to find. Guardian alone at the backtracks right now. Olaf Meister in the connector. Has Crims done enough? This is a nice position to be in. No one watching Ivy. He can get out of here cleanly. Doesn't want to drop any utility at all. He just wants to walk out and hope that no one's looking towards this particular direction. Time ticking away now, 35 seconds. Guardian sits at the CT steps. He's read this quite well. If he does go towards the backtrack, he's ready and waiting. Doesn't ideally want to head there, but he knows a chance the AWPer could be in that position. And he starts to make his way towards the bomb train.
And you're right in saying that hope is on his side because he's going out cleanly. He wants to be as silent as he can. Oh, does he spot him? I think he did. Crims might have the upper hand. He knows that Guardian is certainly out of the equation. Smokes off the AWP player, but has he read where Olaf is? He's going to stick this as well. Olaf's not going to peek, and Crims suddenly realizes that he's gotten away with one because surely he's got to be rotating back over. He had the read, but Guardian's got the shot, and FaZe have championship points.
He played it perfectly. He spotted Guardian. He smoked off the risk factor. Planted. Olaf didn't want to take the chance to take him down. He knew Guardian was coming there, but Guardian steps up again with the AWP. And we're here. Championship point for FaZe. One more round will do it. With the bomb planted, money is actually looking okay for Fnatic now. They can bring out the AWP. They've got the AK. Sure, they're limited on utility, but they have the weaponry. Can they take us to overtime? It feels like it's required at this point.
It's almost like we deserve it. As fans watching this game, it's been nothing short of exceptional. Nico's going to wait this time outside of PopDog, but again, there will be a presence. It's Rain. Nico getting that 1 kill before burning in his own Molotov.
Yeah, unbelievable.
flusha wants to go down. Molotov already pushed back. That leaves Rain with nowhere to go. He's got to jump. He's got to jump away from the bullets, and flusha knows that he's there. Gets away this time without getting caught off. That's what he tried to do last time to Nico. Down the ladder, back up to peak. TW, meanwhile, posted with the waiting, hoping someone gets in vision. Starts off well. Fnatic with the first kill. You saw the stat, Henry, as much as I did. 0-3 in overtime, our phase on this map with this iteration, this lineup.
It looks like it might be heading there. 5-on-4. flusha opening things up. 45 seconds remaining. No real map control here from Fnatic. But they will start to push their way in. They have got that advantage. Olaf Meister and Rain wait patiently for the execution. Can they be the ones that close this one out?
And they're... interestingly, they're going to go a little sooner than I thought, because I would have thought they wanted to wait for JW's AWP. Olaf with a Molotov that he spotted the feet. Kerrigan on Lekro, back to 4 aside. And that's going to encourage the B take. They're certainly ready for it. Rain, good angle. Flush, a good trade. Olaf, speed to get inside of the site. AWP, it actually hit. It connected on Guardian, got confused because Olaf came to the top of the ladder, and that's going to leave Olaf up close as well to the bomb, as Golden and Flusha have to be the two to pull this back, to force this the distance. Bomb already planted, thankfully, and Flusha with one, but he's got a lot more to go. In fact, he needs another ace just to keep Fnatic alive. And FaZe, trials and turbulations in finals, and they certainly showed through again. They might finally redeem from last year and get their first IEM championship. It only takes one kill. Flusha, he's not going to allow that easily. Gets it down to just Guardian, 17 HP. And that gives Flusha the upper hand as well. Flash out. He's faced off of it, forced off the angle, and Flusha's got us going the distance as he hits the shot, and we tie things up.
He's done it again, Flusha. This is unbelievable. Another ace for him to keep the dream alive, take us to overtime. Everything is reset. 16K MR3. FaZe had that in the palm of their hand. It was their game. And Flusha denies absolutely everything. His second ace in the last 5 rounds. We talk about his performances back in the day at the majors when they were at their absolute peak. This is some vintage Flusha coming back now, Matt. This is what it's all about. That's why he's considered one of the very best players. You ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
We are back. We are legendary. We are passionate. We are Cologne.
The strike comes in for rain!
We are one.
The history comes full circle yet again. Now, the persistence, the dreams, the sweat, the struggle, the tradition. Some things cannot be named. Some places cannot be described. You can feel it. You know you can be a part of the extraordinary.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
And we'll get into it now. Overtime will begin shortly.
We're 5 minutes away from midnight. This series started at 5 p.m. local. Just to give you an idea of how stuck in these players are, how mentally draining this is, and yet the performance they're putting on is nothing short of top-notch.
Well, here we go. Double orb setup is the stance. FaZe will deploy.
Guardian and Nico once again. First team to get championship point was them, but they couldn't close it out. Flusher denies everything. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make some noise. This is overtime for the championship. There we go.
3 ops up, 2 naturally on the CT side. 1 for Nico, and he's playing very aggressively toward Ivy, but that means long rotation, and that will mean a long rotation because it's Fnatic that strike toward the inner site. Like and Crims with kills, and Golden immediately to plant the bomb means that Rain, tagged up as well, is the only one directly on the site. Long rotation backtracks from Kerrigan and Nico as they get back in. JW's already gotten Rain, 5 versus 2. As FaZe realize that may not do. They've certainly seen those rounds fall apart against them earlier on in the half, so perhaps they can return that serve. And remember, there's no reason not to with 16K, so Nico versus 4. He's certainly aware that Flush is sneaking up. Down to 3.
Is that enough? I don't think it is. Remember, money's not a factor here. There's no real reason to save any weaponry. Might as well go for it. He'll be sat at the backtracks here, but the bomb will be exploding, just sending out a message towards Fnatic at this point when he finds a couple more frags. An inside play, though, it works out very nicely indeed. That has been a problem for FaZe. It seems to crumble under pressure. They can only trade out 1 kill each time. And there it is, first advantage for Fnatic in overtime here. The inside bomb site working out very nicely indeed. Second round begins, still on the double AWP setup. Remember, Nico is considered one of the absolute best riflers in the world. He is a good AWPer as well, but I feel like rifling is where he does his absolute best work. It is often a talking point, especially in these big grand finals. We'll get into it then. Wants to play a faster approach perhaps. They will go towards inside. Remember, all 5 players in these halls right now. No one towards Ivy, no one at main entrance. Nico hunting for information towards Ivy. He's actually getting a lot done here. He's knowing that no one's towards this side of the map. He can call for someone to peel off. And the inside play coming once again, but this time, Guardian will hit the first shot.
Clean. He moves across to cover the backside of the bomb, and not only that, he puts a Molotov on top of it, so that won't allow them to get to the plant right away. They extinguish it, though, so Golden can get it down as fast as possible. Micro this time. Everyone's had a turn on both sides to play the backside of that smoke. Good read from Flush to take down Nico. Great read from Lekro as well as he spots them going inside, but he's undercut. And an uppercut from Rain to take down Golden as well. It gives them back the advantage on the FaZe side. Kits for all 3, naturally, in overtime. And JW wants to try and find information. They're already on this. They're actually defusing it right now. This is almost done. It is going to be done. They've gotten the round. 3 players up, 2 for Fnatic, and they get it out from under their nose. We tie ourselves back up at 16-16.
It's unlikely a full defuse would come in at that point, and that's why they don't really check it. You normally just touch the bomb to bait the players out, especially in a 3-on-3. But you're right. They completely seal it away. A nice defuse there from FaZe. It was looking at that round was about to fall apart. Guardian gets 1 an entry short, but then he's locked out by the smokes. Final round of the first half. 16-16 once again, nothing separating these 2 teams. They lock horns for the final time in this half. Single AWP setup, just to know now from FaZe. Lekro's going quickly through the flames, and that will be working out for him at all as Olofmeister finds another. 5-on-3 now. Desperate last attempt from Fnatic. Can they find anything from this?
Shot back in from Nico. No sooner that Golden found the kill, so it Pendulum in overtime, swinging firmly the other direction. First round Fnatic, second round a fight back from FaZe, and now this one firmly theirs as Guardian confirms that 17 rounds to 16. No one yet on that point. FaZe in the lead ever so slightly.
17-16. It's first to 19 at the very top of your scoreboard for those not familiar with the format. This is the absolute crescendo of our best of 5. Fnatic have stunned everyone in this tournament. Looking like their former selves. Flusher, what an epic performance. He's gonna need one now more than ever. 2-1 down against FaZe. Looking to close things out here. Double overtime, very likely as well. Remember, we switch over now to the CT side for Fnatic. They're looking for the 3-0. FaZe need 2. 18-18 will do it all over again.
Guardian has been known for that shot ever since this version of Train has been introduced, since that new iteration of A main became part of the map. Seldom does it land, but that doesn't discourage him from trying it, and rightfully so. Good nade, Crims. I say that. It was just tucked into the corner enough not to take much more than 3 damage. Olaf at Ivy. Force JW off the angle. Does he elect to take it? In doing so, he does not. Stays tucked up behind the dumpster. Wants to see if he can at least bait out a response. Get some utility off the belts of Fnatic. He's done exactly that by getting a smoke down. Meanwhile, Nico's already outside of A main. He's focusing on Pop Dog because he knew that Crims was there. And they'll afford to slow things down immediately after with 58 seconds to work with.
Remember, one more round for FaZe is championship points again. And with the 5-on-4 right now, Fnatic certainly capable of getting back into this round. It will be an inside play from FaZe. They have the smokes, the flashbangs, the molotovs, everything they need for an execution here. Who's waiting on the other side is Lekro and Flusher. Lekro with the AWP. Double orb set up for themselves here. Carrigan towards upper. Lekro resides, watching the lower ramp. Has to hit the first shot here. Can't go down with nothing. Everyone ready and waiting. The smokes go in. Flashbangs deploy. Can Lekro find anything? You better believe he can. Takes down Rain 4-4.
Kerrigan's taken a massive amount of damage as well, I believe, from an 8 thrown in, but it's Flusher that could slide up. You said he needed another big one. He's got another big one. 17-17.
They pull it back. Lekro holds his nerve, and that man in his screen right now is an absolute god. How is he delivering these frags again and again? It's so sick what he's doing right now. You can see FaZe starting to fall apart tactically. No real pressure applied to Flusher there. No flashbangs, no molotovs in his face. Just everything under control. They steal the first round, 17-17. Still on the double orb setup. Now for both sides. Nico brings it out on the T side. Now that is questionable. We'll see whether it works out for him. Looking for the first pick towards Ivy. Spots the legs and can't quite connect the shot. Taking some damage there from the molotov.
Two toward Ivy and two toward A main for FaZe. Can I sit in suspense, unsure of exactly what happens now?
It's such a question mark, isn't it? It's not clear right now who's gonna run away with this one. I feel like FaZe are starting to be rattled and caged. Fnatic to seem up for it. Every kill they get is so polished. Round number 5.
Just to note as well, Rain sits on the bottom again. Olaf's only at 19, but Rain's at 15. He's had a tough series.
Yeah, he has. Here we go. Final commitment from FaZe coming in. It'll be an outside execution. 2 players towards Ivy, 2 at main. Rain by the Pop Dog. Smokes deployed. Who wins this round will have championship points again.
The fact that they've gone so passive to focus on Ivy, though, gives a lot of opportunity to Rain and Nico now coming in from A main. Not only that, Golden is forced into a corner. He could have a problem with Nico sneaking down the lane. He's got to go well back with his back exposed at hell. Nico should be all over him at this point in time. I'm not sure how he hasn't gone that way, but confidently enough, Rain walks out. It's Crims from above. They'll know where he is. They know exactly where he is, but he's gotten the bomb down, and he still controls the angle. Kill from JW as they try and solve him. Leaves us with just Nico in a 1 versus 1. As he gets JW down 13 seconds. Bomb back in his hands, but he's going to be forced to go aggressive and plant this bomb. And when he does, it's Flusher. Who else that will sneak up and take the round and put Fnatic on championship point?
He's done it again. And Nico, with no time available, 10 seconds on the clock, Matt. He had to plant, he had no choice. The fake would have lost the round as well. He went for it, he took a chance, and Flusher, waiting in the doldrums, took him down. Championship point for Fnatic. 1 more will do it. Final round, FaZe need this for double overtime. That double orb setup on the terrorist side did not work out for them. Money's still gonna be fine, of course. It's Lekro and JW orping once again. What an epic final it's been. For Fnatic to take it and steal it from FaZe again. Another grand final going against them would just be disastrous. Let's see what they bring to the table. Guardian holds the orb towards Ivy. Run boost attempted, failed, but not exposed, so that's fine. Again, not really a run boost there, but he still might find the opening, misses the shot. Rain's been tagged up in response as well. Can't find the form. You can see this, they're losing their flair, their mojo. And now wants to play, gain nothing from that interaction. It's wasted time towards Ivy. They'll have to execute again. Defaults finding nothing. Smokes to be deployed. Bomb is by the Pop Dog, and Lekro's looking very comfortable inside. He's got Flusher ready for the flank towards Pop Dog as well if they do go outside. Less than a minute, this could be it.
the winning moments. JW seems to think so. He gets a wallbang to take down Rain.
Kerrigan has popped on, but JW again. There was a time 2 years ago you would have rolled your eyes watching Fnatic win yet another event. Perhaps like a fine wine, it's gotten sweeter with time because they have to earn this one every inch of the way. JW finally silenced, but it's just Guardian and Olaf, just Olaf, and Olaf gets paid back by his old team. Fnatic has done it. The first three-time IEM champion, and Kerrigan can't believe they've come up shy in yet another final. Yet again on this stage. 2 full years, and a legendary brand, a legendary team gets back on top.
Just epic scenes, man. Who would have thought coming into this tournament? This team of underdogs, new players, Golden from the academy side of Fnatic. Hats off to him, they've done it again, and they will be champions of Katowice.
Unprecedented and unparalleled. They've walked this walk before, and for the third time, the first ever 3-time champions at IEM, they'll walk to the front of the stage, they'll grab the trophy, they've earned it. Fnatic are your IEM Intel Extreme Masters Katowice champions in 2018.
An exhausting 5-map series, overtime no less, and we found the best. Phase 4 in 5, Fnatic write IEM history today. 2 years of swallowing their pride, roster changes aside, and into Katowice 2018 they stride. Your champions, Fnatic.
All of the rounds, all of the pressure. 2 full years since you lifted this trophy. It's been a while, but what a series that was.
That was insane. Like going to five maps as well. I hope it's a grand final the crowd deserves.
I think they do. Did you enjoy that? I think we all enjoyed that. 7 hours. How much at the end did it come down to being able to handle the pressure?
Honestly, I don't know. Like, we just played out of our minds this event, and hard work pays off. I guess.
It's been a lean 2 years for you. The last major trophy you won is that one. How much are you now back? How much are you now writing a new chapter in Fnatic's CS:GO novel?
Hopefully, we will start writing the new chapter now. Winning, it's been a long time, so it's just an amazing feeling, and we just feel so great right now.
And I know you'll tell me it's a team game, but your personal performance, especially over that final map, it was so epic.
Yeah, like grand finals, that's where I show up.
He does indeed. What a man, what a final. Once again, put your hands together for your Intel Extreme Masters Champions 2018. It's Fnatic!
Presents the post-match.
7 hours, 149 rounds of Counter-Strike, 5 maps, Fnatic, FaZe. This was not the picture that anyone painted. Not only the names on that stage, but the victors as well. flusha, one last touch of the trophy. He's taking it with him, and rightfully so. What an adventure this has been, gentlemen.
A best of 5, Alex. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It doesn't matter how hot FaZe came out the gates. Fnatic played some remarkable CS individually and as a team, reminding us why the Fnatic name and the IEM trophy are so close. Both teams, they left it all out there, round after round. We got everything we wanted. They never gave up, but the heroics of flusha there on that 5th map, on that final map of Train, was enough to break FaZe, crush their dreams.
It really is so bittersweet on that stage right now. 3 events where FaZe strode into the grand finals and could not convert.
I think this one final has had enough emotions for maybe 5 other finals, because it's been insane when you look at the different stages we've had in this best of 5. We've had the triple overtime on Inferno, right, where FaZe could have won the 2nd map and, you know, it would have been over in 4. We've had the Guardian 1v5 of Overpass where we thought, this is it, Fnatic is done. We're gonna lose this map, lose the next map, and go home. Easy title for FaZe. Fnatic comes back on that map, loses their own 2nd pick, and then closes it out in overtime on Train. Just an insane final, all things considered.
You see Crims there as well, spoke to our camera crew before saying, I want it so bad, man. Well, that trophy will be sitting on their cabinet. And flusha, I mean, there has to be a conversation about this player.
This team, the core of this team, JW, Crims, and flusha, they had the worst tournament since they played together last week. 10 days ago in Kiev, they were 0-3. They lost to Tyloo. They lost to Tyloo on LAN. And now they came here in another best of 3 tournament. They won the whole thing.
And they took a break. They straight up left that event and did not talk to one another. They wanted to get back to what made them oh so strong. Wow.
Take for flusha, I mean, 2. Okay, you have one of those clutches.
One
of those
ace.
Aces. It's like 1 for the year, right? That's it. Yeah. 1 per year is basically when you're gonna have. He has 2 of them on the final map
in 5 rounds.
In 5 rounds, and completely, almost single-handedly, really dismantles FaZe Clan.
Not only did he have 2 of them, one of them was to get them into overtime to even have a chance to lift the trophy.
I came to this desk. I was walking in ready to start telling the story of that final map with you guys. Chad was on the floor, head in hands, saying it was a 2v5, Alex.
I couldn't believe it.
2v5, flusha, Fnatic. What an adventure this has been, a magical final. Players pushed to their absolute limits on this stage today, Yanko.
And again, it's what we talk about, you know, microsystems of the finals, right? You could see how it was at the very end. Even FaZe in the 2nd half of the overtime, 1st round, they have a 5v4, and still they hesitate. It takes them a little bit of time. They're unsure of what they want to do. While Fnatic, they're just playing their own game. They make a call, you know, make a read, and they stick to it. They stick to their guns, and it's what got them this title in the end.
And we have to talk about the, well, the conversation that's so hard to talk about, and that is, of course, the fact that that was a mental marathon. And when it comes to the players that took to that stage, you had such a difference. Even on the Fnatic roster alone, you had Golden taking to a stage like that for his first time and going a full 5 maps versus a roster that really no one in the history of Counter-Strike expected to see those 5 names in the same jersey going up against them in a full 5 maps and against the crowd as well. There is so much to kind of process in your head as well as playing the game of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, massive props to Lekro and Golden. Being able to do this in front of these people in this stage, you know, and be able to take on FaZe and get the victory in this kind of environment. It's absolutely insane. Props to them. Props to the young guys. Well, they're not young, but probably, you know, they're new to these kind of events. And I don't know where. Do you start worrying now if you're FaZe? Does this start getting in your head? Is this the question mark?
It's a good question.
I think you absolutely start worrying. I mean, you look at just the last map. It was an 8-7 for 1st half, which should have been even better. And then you win pistol. And that's like you're thinking, well, FaZe has to close this game out. You know, what else could you ask for? But we see it yet again. It took them a couple of gun rounds to start doing things, you know, to start actually going for setups, to start playing close up together, not have one player playing close up, the other one inside. You know, that round worked perfectly. Next round, a double setup in Ivy. Actually, that was the round where Flusha clutched 2 in 5.
Yeah.
It starts off great. They do great things in the beginning of the round. It's a lock. It's another flawless round. And you see them, this is it. They maybe lose one round, but get the reset and win the game. And what happens? A blunder, so to speak, from Olaf, in a sense that he was sliding on the ladder, missed his timing. Flusha comes in, gets both kills, but even then it's winnable. It's just an amazing play from Flusha, who really, really stepped up in this whole tournament, and especially in the final, and especially in the last map of it.
When we talk about amazing plays, gents, we are just going to have a moment of course, reminder of one of those incredible moments. Your play faster moment from that grand final, you know what it's going to be. A play that only happens once in a player's lifetime. There's so many. There is so many, but there is going to be a Guardian, of course, with that incredible 1 versus 5, an AWP, 3 players pushing him down, and he has absolutely no problem. The swift dispatch of the third as well. Ledgro's brain is absolutely everywhere. And an outstanding way to try and bring his team into the game. Not enough, but definitely valid of that play fast attack.
At the time, it seemed like it was enough, not only because of the round, but because what happened later on in the half phase went on a tear, won 5 more rounds after that. But in the second half, Fnatic just somehow managed to find that mental reset. Yet again, had a flawless second half and closed out Overpass. And when you look at it, this is the problem as well. Fnatic can, it's not a problem for Fnatic to beat FaZe in a best of 3. They already did it in this tournament, in the group stages, but in a best of 5, when you look at the pool of maps, for FaZe to lose both Overpass and Train to Fnatic in the same series, that's just something that shouldn't happen, right? For a team like FaZe, with a star-studded lineup, a lot has been invested into that team. For what they've shown us at times, when it comes to the grand finals, I think it's fair to say, at least for the last 4 or 5 months, they have not been the same team as they are in group stages.
Absolutely, and trying to break that. I mean, that is a conundrum that no one is capable of solving, right? Looking at those names, looking at how they can play, looking at the fact that they get to the grand finals so consistently, to crack that nut of actually lifting the trophy does seem to be such a difficult one.
So much heartbreak in such a small amount of time.
Yeah.
The major final. Losing here at Katowice. This is these are tournaments within the space of the first 3 months of the year.
The problem is, you would think with the amount of times it has happened, you have learned what the issues are, and you don't repeat the same thing. You don't repeat the same mistakes. But the problem is, maybe they're just slow learners, Alex.
Yeah, the major Pro League finals, Oakland to the grand final, and that silver medal on their neck.
Even some of the wins. I mean, even ECS finals, it was really, really close. Even, Mousesports had the lead in that one. That could have slipped away as well. So it's very difficult to talk about FaZe because the expectations are the highest from them compared to any other team in the world. And when you look at that lineup, they made so many grand finals. But at the end of the day, they've been losing some of these finals to teams that they really, in no universe, should lose. And for it to happen once, it's fine. Stuff happens, but to happen as many times, then it's a problem.
We might have to mention this as well. Fnatic, they now have a little notch in their belt for the Intel Grand Slam. So I think we could probably dub this as the Chaos era, because now the race for that is definitely wide open going into, what's the next one? IEM Sydney? No, DreamHack Marseille.
Absolutely, yes, indeed. But the IEM Season 13 does start again. That's going to be with Australia. That's going to be with Sydney. That's May 4th to 6th. We're going to be seeing the new season of IEM kick off, and of course another battle for that trophy that Fnatic are going to be keeping close hold of for a while. Gents, Katowice, another one comes to a close. It is always so hard to say goodbye, but it has been a wild ride so far. Don't forget, if you are still hungry for Counter-Strike, Pro League continues on Tuesday. But right now, I think everybody here, from the Spodek, from us at the desk, from the production crew who are probably desperate for that bed, either way, it has been an absolutely wild ride, and Fnatic are your champions. What a journey. Thank you so much for coming with us. Katowice 2018 closes off, and Fnatic are your champions. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Hey, boy, you ready?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
We are back. We are legendary. We are passionate. We are Cologne.
The strike comes in for rain!
We are one.
The history comes full circle yet again, now. The persistence, the dreams, the sweat, the struggle, the tradition. Some things cannot be named, some places cannot be described. You can feel it, you know you can be a part of the extraordinary.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm here with an intel report. We're on the sidelines with Sonic. We're over here by Astralis. They've got a hell of a day to kick us off here against the Renegades. But let's start with the slower stuff, right? Let's talk about you and your relationship with the Intel Extreme Masters.
I have a lot of history with the Intel Extreme Masters and just ESL in general. Some of it has been good, but as you can see on the pictures, my former team, except for Astralis, of course, is missing. So obviously we have had some great history here, but I would have loved to have won myself as a player back then.
There's still chance. There's still a chance. I mean, there's Ave as well as Wimp running around here too. So I think perfect time is now.
Yeah, definitely. But I think they are quite busy trying to repair the damages of North. So hopefully they have their work cut out for them.
Well, you guys might have your work cut out for you. We don't know. This is Astralis. That is a world-class team. Let's kick it off a little bit that's been on everyone's mind. Let's talk about the addition of Magis.
Emil is a really cool guy. The way that he has adapted to our playing style and just to how hungry and motivated he is it's a dream coming true for us. He has really boosted the team, and he is listening and willing to learn, and just like a perfect student for me, so to say.
Well, there's also a little bit of buzz about Dupree and Device being back in selected roles that they were known to fire on all cylinders with. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, we switched back to Device being the main op. We tried that in the major, didn't work that well. It was quite difficult for me to analyze that part because Dupree was really good in practice before the major. So I'm happy that we are back to Device with the main op, and now we have Dupree in his entry fragger role. So I'm really happy to see that everyone on the team is really satisfied with their role. So yeah, now we just need some time to get Emil integrated into the team.
Progress moving forward. Well, I'm going to have to ask you for a quick selfie before I give it back to the guys here at the desk. You guys can also join along at home using hashtag IEM, so make sure you do that, right? Take it away, Alex.
Thank you so much, Stunner. I like the photo face. Either way, they're talking there about Astralis. Yeah, the hashtag's IEM. Should we do it?
Yeah, let's do one.
Let's see if we can do a better selfie than Stunner. Hang on, let me try.
Are we taking a I like funny pictures.
You are the master of selfies.
Yeah, hang on, wait. Let's get my pop socket out. There's no way you can find that. Anyway, okay, here we go. So what are we going for? Silly?
I
fun?
like silly.
Silly. Okay.
I can't do anything.
And now you'll find that at the hashtag IEM.
Yeah.
Hashtag promo. All right. Guys, we love you. We do. And now it's time to talk a little bit about the double Ds, Device and Dupree. They aim to please. Talk to me.
They always do, and now that they're back as the star roles of these teams, we just heard Zonic touch on it. Dupree gets to go back to his original roles, or the ones that he's most comfortable with. Now that Kyobi has, you heard that little bit of banter from Zonic, right? About rebooting North after he just dogged the boys. He just went, "Oh, see ya, peace out." But they seem happy with it. Now I'm curious if they're actually happy with it, because Magic's Boy coming in, when he was a part of the North roster, I heard murmurs that the squad wasn't too happy, with the way that he would approach his aggression. So the fact that we have this now Device Dupree combo, they're back in action, they're back in the form, we're back in their original roles, or the ones that suit them best. With the Magic's Boy potential aggression coming in, it's a good mix. We have a solid mix for this Astralis team, and the future is bright.
Yeah, I mean, Zonic was talking all about his work ethic as well, which is something that Astralis has been striving for a while now, Yanko.
Absolutely, and someone like Zonic, it's interesting how him, Ave, and Wimp are on the same team, and now they're poaching his players, and he's giving them a bit of fire in the interview. Glaive also, talking about interviews, pointed out that with Kirby and Dupree, Kirby was basically taking some of Dupree's roles, so Dupree had to adjust. Now with this change, albeit it was forced, right, upon them, Dupree can go back to his natural role, and Magis can come in and do what Dupree used to do. So that's what Glaive means when he says the roles are a bit more clear-cut now, and Zonic as well, like everyone's comfortable, the Device back on the main ops, so it's going to be very interesting to see this new look Astralis.
Yeah, and you can see that these guys do not play each other at all. I mean, if you bring up their match record, I mean, you can see that, this is actually where the amount of times we've seen the new roster play.
The Renegade
17
roster
maps,
with Jacob,
okay.
So they haven't really played together a lot, but they got a lot of practice in Kiev, right, because of the best-of-3 format, and they had to do the reverse sweep, plus they played a couple of Pro League matches. Jacob flew in, and I think they had like 24 hours of practice when he landed from Europe. So they haven't played a lot together. But I was actually talking to Ustila yesterday, and he said Jacob is gelling with the team personality-wise very well. You compare that to Naf, who left. I don't think they got along at all. Now, look, I don't want to be spilling too many beans, but the personality between Naf and the rest of the Renegade squad seemed like, night and day. It didn't seem like there was too much cohesion there.
So the discrepancy in skill as well. So I wouldn't really mind the odd personality here and there. He's going to carry me to victory, as did the Renegades been the Star Series tournament back in China in autumn of last year. So obviously a big hit for Renegades, especially considering Jacob is not going to be a full-time member. He's here to help them out for a couple of months. I'm not sure if his contract is 3 or 6 months.
6 months contract, but it does. I think they used the trial word. So let's not get into this. We do have to start talking vetoes. I do not want us to run out of time with those. But yes, Jacob has been around for a while, and good to see him back on at these main stage events and showing what he's good at, which is certainly popping heads.
Yeah, and talking about vetoes, we have a different format as well. I am rolling back the years. First they had the round robin format, which we didn't see. Now they have the GSL one, which seems to be, inferior to Swiss, even though I think it actually is the better one. So obviously the first round only is going to be best of ones, best of threes all the way after that. So this is a good thing for Renegades, obviously, being the underdog, right? They get 3 vetoes in, and they can get on something they're at least comfortable on.
I think the bans that are clear for Renegades has to be Overpass and Nuke going up against Astralis, and then the bans for Astralis, I just think they're ones they're going to be worried about are Cobble, and Renegades had a really good showing on Keish when we were over in Kiev, so those would be the 2 clear ones, and then, I feel like Renegades would be happy ending up on a Mirage or a Train, something like that.
Yeah, I think that's going to be where we end up. Also, Inferno needs to be vetoed out by Renegades, don't really play that map either. I think they're just waiting for maybe Astralis to veto out Nuke before them. That could give them a bit of an advantage in terms of, they are the team that picks between the 2 maps, but you can see that they can't gamble because they are the first team to ban. They use their last veto, and it is indeed between Mirage and Train. So if I were Astralis here, I would probably go for something like Train, simply because it's not as puggy of a map as Mirage is. Mirage is the new Dust 2, right?
Sure.
Everyone knows how to play the basics of it, to throw the smokes, to go for mid control. Sure, teams are not as equally coordinated in doing all of that, but you know, you win the pistol, you go for some screamy gun rounds, you can get off to a good start. While on train, you really need that teamwork and coordination.
That's not a bad shout, especially, you know, we've seen the effect of one player, you know, you add in one roster change, how much that can affect a team. You're not going to be, you know, absolutely fantastic on one of the more technically strong maps like Train.
But we have to mention that the first round games are best of ones, and this is Renegade's best chance for an upset, right? Sure, Astralis on paper, much better squad. Head-to-head over different rosters over time, Astralis definitely have, you know, the upper hand in that regard. But this is a best of one. Renegades have been looking hot. Both teams are a relatively unknown quantity right now. And two of the factors that are big for me for this Renegades team is Ustillo's entry fragging strats have definitely been, on the up and up. And JKS, he has now returned to his original roles. Now that Naf's out of the squad, he can play slower, more lurky, anchor bomb site roles. And his stats are definitely looking a lot hotter too. So those are two big positives.
And you know what I'm taking away from these conversations is there's a clear trend that both with Astralis and with Renegades, we've used the term getting to play their spots. You know, basically every player has their preference, and from what it sounds like, these roster changes on either side have made everyone, all of the players individually more comfortable.
Yeah, you can always question, you know, when you change a player who is more skilled or who is better suited for the team, but something that it's very important to have all the... There's no better example than SK, right? And getting in bolts instead of helps, you can see an instant change in performance from that team. So even, you know, sometimes you can argue, yes, like the player that left was higher skilled or anything. It's also about how is everyone else on the team playing. So obviously when you make a roster change, you're going to say, yeah, this makes us better, the roles fit better, but time will only tell. And I think this is where Astralis actually needs to make a statement. If they're going to be a contender in this tournament, they need a convincing start here versus Renegades.
And talking of JKS as well, just coming back to that point, you've played with him for a while. The conversation, of course, was always that this was going to be like, he was the Australian hope for really being the star. You know, everyone was going to be looking at the Azza and JKS as these were going to be the fraggers. These were going to be the ones that brought home Australia's first trophy.
And also that guy, Sponge, was supposed to be the guy that leads them to glory.
Well, I'm here now. I'm still waving the flag.
But JKS, has he lived up to his genuine potential as a Counter-Strike player? We're in 2018. We've been saying the same kind of things for 2 years, 3 years now. Has he realized that potential?
Unfortunately not, and I don't want to give them a way out here in terms of saying they've gone through a lot of adversity in terms of having to change to an organization where the owner actually is running the team. One where, you know, there's some factors like, hey, people keep getting replaced and they have to deal with these new rosters all the time. But the fact of the matter is JKS hasn't been consistent in the performances that we need from him. And that's the same with Azza. They both need to lift their game consistently.
And I agree with Chad. That's very much hindering for a player, right? When you have constant roster changes, you don't have stability in terms of in-game leading as well. Look at Nav, the best example during his time in Optic or even Tariq and Rush, right? When they were struggling to find that fifth guy, the in-game leader, their individual performance dropped significantly from everyone. And now you can see them. They're all doing great in their new teams. But that being said, I think it's become clear after the last 2 or 3 years that JKS is not a simple, he's not a Nico, right? He's not this mad talent that people may be, you know, questioning, okay, maybe he is that good, because even if you have those like team issues, you could still excel. You know, Nico was in Mouse Sports, Simple was in Flipside, Hellraisers, right? So I think that has become obvious, but whether he can be better than this, I think with a stable roster, maybe.
For what I need from Justin is for him to go from being a beta male to being an alpha male, right? Because he is a Counter-Strike player that can frag, and he has instincts for the game like some of these top-tier players. The thing I think it is a personality thing in the sense of he needs to approach the game that he is that good, right? Because I know he thinks he is, but he needs to have a bit more of a persona, or at least someone, you know, who's going to project that for him and help him get across the line to fire him up.
Yeah, and looking at how the scene is looking at the moment, how tournaments go, how matchups go, it does seem to be a game of confidence, especially now, right? You can see these teams not just winning tournaments, but winning series based off of playing really well individually, and just what Chad was talking about, believing that they are the best in the server. That's how Cloud9 won the major. They beat G2, SK, and FaZe. You could see with the way they were playing, they believed that they were the best players on that server. So that's something that's definitely necessary if you're going to make any sort of waves in this tournament.
Yeah, we're looking to make waves. It does sound like our first game is almost ready to lock and load. The map will be Train, Renegades and Astralis duking it out as our debut game of Katowice 2018. All I need from you guys before we do meet our casters is simply
one thing to watch out for? What are we looking out for as we venture into train, Chad, with Renegades and Astralis?
Renegades just need to come out, and Yanko's already used that buzzword, but confidence in their approach. They need to have a really strong game plan. I want to see them taking the fight to Astralis. I don't want to see them coming out too timid. They need to be confident in the fact that they can win this game, that they've done their preparation, and that they have the individual players to step up when they need it. Now, that sounds very vague, but the sense of the matter is they are the underdog. They have the best of one, and there's best opportunity here. You have to be confident. You have to think you can win this game.
I'd look out for the teamwork in Astralis. They were one of the most fundamental teams we've had in recent history in Counter-Strike. So look out for them and the cohesion they're going to have.
All right, then, let's get into this one. The first map will be Train. The fist bumps are in. It's the Aussies taking on Astralis, and now we introduce your casters. She's been out getting chicken dinners, but now she's hanging with the real winners. Please welcome Pansy with Moses.
Wow. What a welcome back to casting CSGO, and what a great game to begin with as well, Jason. We have, a lot to be seen here. Convincing win was certainly banded around as a statement when we're looking at Astralis, that they need to get off the blocks with a good start here.
Yeah, definitely. They have been disappointing. This would be a great way to start out for them. We are having some opening duels towards the center bomb site, and here they are hitting towards that inside site. Mustillo is going to be up top, and now he's pushing up. And look at Astralis, the aggression down these lanes. This is quite nice so far. The bomb is being planted, but Renegades has handled this very well.
Well, we're going to see if they can keep handling it. Mustillo there, exceptional work from him, claiming 2 kills already. Zipnix and Device being left worse for wear, as Dupree now left in the 1v4.
Yeah, this is not ideal. Obviously, he's just going to have to bail out of this one with the kill, maybe transition over to something, but Renegades with the opening pistol run, you like to see that. They've managed the aggression super well at that inner bomb site, and that's a good start for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Great step in the right direction. Get this one started off well. And you know what? Renegades is always exciting to me as a prospect, isn't it? You look at the roster, you're like, maybe this is the time. And as said, and as the desk definitely highlighted, best of ones, they can really thrive at pushing themselves forward. And you got to see them a little bit at Kiev, I can imagine, in between the monster amount of games you casted. I mean, there
were quite a few, wasn't there?
It's like when I look up the team history, I'm just like, oh, that was a lot of best of threes.
It was painful. It was really cool. It's one of those things like, this is the coolest format in the world, and then it was just like, oh, this is actually a lot of games.
Yeah. But it seemed to do well for these guys. I guess it's, the trial by fire, right? You have to kind of just grind through it.
Yeah, and Yanko brought it up on the desk. It is good to just have that many games out of the way. I know a lot of teams that made roster changes really liked it because it's just a way for them to get way more practice in officials with a new player than they would have gotten otherwise. So in that sense, it was perfect for these teams. And a team like Renegades bringing in Jacob, trying to get him acclimated. I think the big thing to look at for Renegades is one of their players who's been the most exciting, and I always hype him up every time we see Renegades play, is Nifty. And he kind of has exploded onto the scene to be a very impactful player, but he had a very weak event individually in Kiev, which is very worrying, especially with the loss of NAF. Now, Jacob played well at times to kind of overcome that, but you need Nifty as an opper, especially some of those games where you knew his op was going to be a critical factor in them winning. He was very quiet, so this is a tournament where I think he needs a bounce back.
Yeah, I think a lot of these teams need to make statements, right? Like all of them, Astralis coming into this, previous title holders for Katowice, they need to prove that this roster swap, they weren't the ones getting dumped, right? After let's say you fall out of the relationship, you're the one who kind of gets dumped out of it. You start hitting the gym, you start getting the better outfits going on. You want to come out and seem like you're the winner in this if you're Astralis. And I mean, so far it seems like they're doing pretty well for themselves. It hasn't been the worst start in the world, but again, this is the kind of big one. Again, they need to really kind of pull it together and kind of push the way through, and this should be a convincing win if you look at it just kind of as is on paper, but it's never how CS goes, right?
Yeah, they're still close enough to their dominant period where everyone was they were fighting for that #1 spot in the world in a lot of people's minds. It's still close enough to that we hold them to those standards. And obviously with 4 players still returning from that lineup as well, with just Magis coming in, you still hold them to that same standard as well as the previous one. So for them, it's just all about, it is about getting back to that level, because they in reality, they aren't in that conversation anymore. They just can't be.
They definitely fallen down. It seemed really swift, didn't it? If you guys are wondering, by the way, there is just a technical pause coming in. We're not just chilling out looking at players. We
told the players to stop.
We want to catch up. It's been a hot minute, right?
It really has. I haven't enjoyed it.
Wow, Anders is really hurt right now. He's such an emotional man.
Anders is probably eating a pizza at this time.
Oh yeah,
he's distracted.
Is it like tuna pizza? Or
he eats a lot of tuna pizza.
It's just not right, is it?
It's not.
No, it's not the life that you want to be living. But I mean, for now, it's yeah, there's been a technical pause. I think it's just like getting the headsets right for them, making them feel comfortable, because you don't want to start off the day feeling bad, having any sort of distractions. So get it done, get it ready. I think we're almost ready to start it up. No, tell a lie. Almost is what I'm hearing from Dupree. He actually spelled it almost. Close enough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to go back in, we can even dive deeper into Astralis, some of those issues.
Are we diving deeper?
We can. I mean, I don't want to focus. I know Chad called some of the one of the Renegades guys, a beta male, which seems a bit harsh.
But the thing is, he can get away with it to a degree.
Yeah, he has, because he knows all of them.
And also, they're not going to reply anytime soon. You know what I mean? They're playing games all day, so it's like you might as well just get the digs in while no one can reply.
Exactly, and they don't go back and watch the pregame segments, so he's in the
true.
clear. But I thought it was funny because NAF is a very all the Renegades guys are like very quiet people. I obviously don't know him as well as Chad, but when he said that NAF has like a personality clash with them, I thought that was kind of interesting because NAF is also a very quiet,
reserved.
He's very
He's a reserved guy. Yeah. It's interesting, but that's the thing that we don't often get to see is real team dynamics. How do these teams actually gel? Are they actually friends? Because I think it's a bit of a misconception sometimes that everyone's best friends when they leave the game. I mean, you play in a team, you do the best you can, you get on with your teammates. But I mean, do you actually gel chemistry-wise? Do you actually have that element, and does it make a difference? I guess to a degree it can do, but other times you just got to move on with it as well.
And with the schedule and the team houses and everything, you eat, sleep, and travel together. Yeah. And especially these Renegades guys, when you think when they moved to the States and they were living in Vegas, they've been living together for like 3 years now. It's a bit intense.
All us casters are on the road constantly, and everyone.
And we're all still mates.
Of course.
Still mates.
Yeah, not sure what's going on. We'll hopefully get an update soon. I think we're just waiting on Renegades now to feel happy. Astralis are good to go, so it's just those guys. But yeah, overall, I don't know what to say. We're coming into this.
How about that shade that Zonic threw?
I love to see
that. Was perfect, wasn't
it? Zonic's a funny guy.
Yeah, he's great.
We need more of him to just do some interviews.
Well, he's probably got the most personality on that team. Well, Dupree's getting
wow.
interviews. Yeah.
Wow, way to go. You've gone in hard. You're like, Chad, set the bar. Let me smash it.
Hold my beer, Chad. Here we go.
Wow, that's mean, dude. Dupree's a funny guy.
Dupree is a funny guy, but he's not willing to, talk some smack and throw some shade.
Should we try and get it out of him a bit,
We could.
Like, spice it up?
Yeah.
Like, Config's doing all right for himself. We need Config to join this roster. That's what we needed. Then you get, like, a spicy boy.
That would have been great. I would have loved that, actually.
Honestly, I was really surprised that wasn't the move at the time. Like, obviously, there was other things, other buyouts, other rosters. Like, there's a lot behind the scenes, but I remember
the Caribbean move obviously caught him very off guard, right? So it's kind of like, well, we didn't know those. We didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare for this.
Yep. But no, it's an interesting jump, isn't it? Right? Like, because I remember not too long ago, a while ago, before they went into their like massive dominant kind of streak when they're building up towards Astralis, I know that they were, when you see a young talent like Config really starting to come into his own, you're like,
it's a bit scary.
Damn, we might need this guy. So it's quite funny seeing Magic there. Obviously, the guy's just super talented. That's no disputing that.
I like that stat right there. Since Jacob's edition, JKS has gone plus 32 with a solid rating of 1.04. It's not bad. So Jacob creating a lot of space for some of the other guys.
Making him more alpha.
Yeah. Helping him become that alpha player, teaching him the ways.
Would you say Chad's alpha? It's a tough one, isn't it?
I think Chad, listen. Listen, Lauren. I don't like this line of questioning.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
I have to spend a lot of time with Chad.
Oh, that's true. You want to remain best friends, of course.
Yeah.
Team chemistry on the road.
We'll talk about it, when the mics are off.
Off, okay.
If they're ever off. They're always hot.
Hot mics. It's been good so far. We haven't been found out yet. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. It's just what do people really find out? I think we're waiting on the admins to get over there now. So
they're fixing a problem still. It's a little bit of a more in-depth problem than they expected when they began.
Okay. So let's talk about Astralis and the roles, eh? Let's have a little deep dive on that one. Ooh. Are you liking it? Are you liking? Well, it's gonna be real simple. Let's keep it real light for now. Dupree back to what he does, and Device back to AWPing.
Mm-hmm.
Are we happy? Are we not happy? Do we think it's kind of a band-aid on a gaping wound at this point? Like, is it enough to kind of pull them back to
It's
where
obviously going to be impactful because that's what was happening when they were having a lot of success at the beginning of last year. I still am of the mind that I would rather see Device on an an AK-47, or at least more than he currently is. I think it's kind of interesting seeing a lot of teams, and maybe this is in reference to a lot of the Team Liquid where they said we're going to go away from that dedicated AWPer kind of style of play. A lot of teams getting away with like 5 rifle strategies, and I think Device is so good on it. He can be so much more dynamic with it. That would interest me to see them maybe not have him AWPing as frequently and just pulling it out situationally. But still, that kind of idea of dupreeh as an AWPer, he had like that one great event where he just blew up and exploded. It was crazy. That you can't expect him to be able to keep up that pace.
It was, I think it was after one of the events where I think it was after like one of the more major events. I was talking to him about it. I was like, you know, you went from pretty high points to having like a really tough time, and it was just purely. Even though he's you know he AWPs, it's not like you don't AWP when you're playing CS. Occasionally you might give it a go, but I mean, trying to go toe to toe with people who are dedicated to it, like you know the best in the world. The mind games alone are next level, and you know even just trying to keep that into your repertoire and keep that in mind was super difficult. So I can imagine that was turning back his mind. But it looks like
guess what?
It looks
we're ready.
Ooh,
back in the room.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. The music suddenly got a little tenser as we are getting close to this one. Sign back up. The countdown has begun, so we can stop talking nonsense, which is always nice.
Yeah, because the world is watching.
I hope not. You made me nervous.
Well, you still had a good start to the pistol round, and if you want a quick recap, if you're just joining in, the pistol round was won by Renegades. Obviously, it was a quick hit towards the inner bomb site for Astralis. Ustilla with those 3 kills played a big part in slowing that down. They did get a bomb plant though, and because of that, you're not going to see any real purchase on the Astralis side. Mostly Glocks. No investment into the Deagles, no utility purchased up, so they're going to want to go for that AK-47 buy in the next round.
Room to move for Astralis. They're not being particularly pressured. You can see the Renegades obviously going to sit back, don't want to lose out on anything. They've got a few rifles up, and the UMP isn't just reigning supreme anymore. It's nice to see a little bit of a switch up on that one, so you know, Galils and Famises maybe being kind of toyed with a little bit more, but at the moment, a little bit of a contact play towards B. Molotov goes down the back away, and you can see the burn ward getting a call or two. Zipnik's dupreeh looking a little worse for wear, but again, just showing a bit of leg and then falling off it.
Yeah, and there's no reason to take this round too fast, because if you're an in-game leader at the moment, if you're a player, you're obviously, maybe not at this moment, but leading up to this kind of attack, you're talking about what's going to happen in the next round. You're using it as a kind of a timeout in a way to figure out, make sure everyone's on the same page, and you're going to see those FAMAs picked up on the CT side, especially because the next round the AK-47s, you want the weapons that can utilize a bit more range. This is good though for Astralis. They don't really invest anything. They've now got 2 kills out of it, which is pretty crazy. They've also got that bomb plant, so the next round buy from them is going to be extremely strong.
Yeah, excellent news for them. And if you're just tuning in and wondering what the hell's happened, of course, new UI being used here. I kind of like it so far. Pretty clean. I just like it all kind of like being moved away. You know what I mean? Just like nice and simple.
I'm going to reserve judgment.
Yeah, see how it goes down the line.
Rounds, yeah.
I've been staring at that for a while.
I'm sure you've been in the meetings that have been, you know, this is what we're going to do.
Well, it's just me being.
It's those early morning meetings.
Yeah, not really there mentally. Just checked out. I don't think I've really been there mentally for a number of times.
Sunglasses on.
Stop it. Have you been watching? But we do see the goodbye. This is what you're talking about. They get the full decent purchase coming through. No AWP to be played with, but still, you've got utility coming out. It's pretty flush. They'll be pretty comfortable with that. So with the plant, couple of kills, really nice work from Astralis in round 2. But for Renegades, all in all, another round on the board. And for Renegades, you really want to start making the kind of moves early, showing that presence. And I like this aggression coming out from Azza and JKS.
Yeah, this is very good. Even Ustilla throwing some nades up. So ladder control goes the way of Renegades. And Astralis, once they hit that outer bomb, so they're going to need to take care of this in the first step. These Molotovs down going to force some of the players away. Azza's drop back, and they're pinned back against the wall as well. This is a scary situation for them. Flashbangs going down. Glaive with the drop. That's the bomb as well. They have to continue this aggression, and 2 players in there can swing out towards mid as well. Renegades have a firm grasp on this round.
The only issue might begin with Jacob going down, but I've got to say that duo of Doom just sat there was absolutely excellent. The bomb's in that position. Azra and JKS still not feeling pressure down to Magisk and Device. They've got nothing to do. Nifty's got the angle on it somehow, and Magisk is left to kind of watch his teammates fell. He does at least find Nifty on the way out, but I mean, you're in a 1v3. The bomb is nowhere to be seen near you. One glimpse on the other. Ustilla's been tagged and taken down. Now, the last 2, he knows they were both there. Those 2 got the kills from the position, but can he handle it?
Be huge if he's able to manage this. He'd have to go for the ace as well. Out of, actually, has 1 more flashbang. JKS extremely low, and Renegades is going to choose to play this both still inside the ladder room. This is a dangerous scenario. They could line up very easily for Magisk. Here comes the pop flash to the left, going to come in with it. Waiting, tries to shoot to bait him into the staring at the flashbang, but doesn't work quite perfectly. And Renegade's going to hold on 3-0.
Yeah, good to see Azza and JKS trying to make moves early on as well, not letting Astralis have their way with them at all. Going to try and throw the spanner in the works early. Nice little stack up towards Pop.
It's important to know as well, Glaive is one of the players who's usually very, very good at taking over that ladder room control from the T side. He has that kind of we've seen a lot of different ways to take it. The Molotovs, obviously, you can throw a Molotov outside, you can drop nades in. A lot of people have been doing that double stack drop. Glaive is someone who just drops the flashbang and decides to fall on top of it as well. And it's he's had a decent amount of success with it, but there, with 2 players getting shut down.
For now, looking at the purchase from Astralis, it's pretty bare bones. A couple of upgraded pistols, a flash. But we saw what they worked with before and got a plant and a couple of kills from it. Don't know if they're going to get away with it this time as Nifty. Going to keep control of Ivy as Glaive going to be removed very early on. Good to see the AWP coming out nice and quickly for him. Hopefully he has a really good start. Maybe he's one of those players that kind of build off the back of the confidence that you get from even just getting, eco kills or any of these sort of things. It can make a big difference. We'll see if maybe that echoes in later on.
Love some kills here, and obviously going to the inner bomb site. They've had 2 plants when they've attacked this portion of the map. Azza still with control of ladder room, can have a quick flank if need be. Also could be in some measure of danger, but that's a nice kill for him. Not even really being tested at the moment. He's going to stand his ground. Dupree being lured into that fight. Body slumps down. Great shot from Nifty, so it'll be a 4 for Renegades. Now the question is, this is 2 rounds in a row that Astralis has seen 2 players essentially playing at ladder room. Where do they choose to attack from here? Where can you exploit is kind of the idea that's going through Glaive's head of where he wants to adjust this kind of T-side setup.
We've got the AWP coming out for Device. That could be utilized in some fashion if they fancy it, maybe hinder it, if they feel they can get there quick enough. I don't know what spawn he's got either. It's not the worst. But again, we'll see how they kind of approach this. It could be a fun one to watch. Nifty's got the AWP on the other side. A little bit of a battle of both, but looks like Device going to head off towards the halls, at least for now. It doesn't mean they're committing towards B. It could very much change. And I do wonder if Renegades even go for the same sort of thing, and it looks like that's a no. They've actually peeled away from that.
Might be a good thing as well. Ooh, Device here is going to find the pick. A change of defense from Renegades. They stick Azza in with Ustillo, who wants to peek up towards box halls. Gets picked off by the AWP. Immediate returns on that investment from Device. And now Astralis, this is where they like to slow things down. You can see on the mini-map as well, Nifty, that number 2 man, getting aggressive with his own AWP. An off angle in towards T-mid. Dupree's going to have to be careful how he plays this.
Yeah, this could be huge. If Nifty can maybe stay alive, get to something along those lines, they could maybe stem the bleeding of this round right now. It looks like Astralis are in the hot seat. Magisk has joined Dupree, so they seem incredibly aware this is a possibility, considering how pushed up these players have been. And look at the late aggression as well coming out from Jake, and he's going to put himself to the spot.
That's bold. Going through the smoke as well. That is a bold play. Could pay off, though. If Nifty can get this kill and stay alive, he'll be able to wreak havoc on this attack.
The timing on that Molotov could be great as well. Nifty can at least hinder the approach. Glaive getting picked up as well. This is not going so smoothly for Astralis again in this round. Back to the 4v4 and 30 seconds left. And yes, this is going to be interesting. Bomb now heading over towards B, but JKS and Azza, they've held firm here.
2 players inside. This is such a disgusting read from Renegades. This is going to be tough, but that's a great kill for Magisk. Zipnix has spotted out Azza. They had everything they could have possibly wanted. They shut out the other 2 choke points that Astralis wanted to attack, and still just can't manage that defense. Great hit, great opening kill for Magisk.
That's the firepower you're looking for in a player. Just to walk into something that's set to actually still dismantle what you're doing and then just completely run through it. That's perfect from him. Kind of being able to throw a player into a situation like that. Because you got Dupree, you can do it. Said to be an entry, fragger every now and then. Certainly fits that role. Also, the rifling duo between the 2 of them. Because that's what you had in the previous roster with Kiebi. That's what was the main duo for them.
Now, it's hard to kind of have those set roles in that way when a strategy like that gets thrown to hell. When you want to attack the outer bomb site, you get delayed by a Molotov, you lose a player in ladder room, and you're kind of just like, all right, we just have to go inner. And it's basically just whoever's that first man running in has to do the job, and Magisk does it great. Yeah. Zipnix lurking out upper as well. With that 1 kill, makes his job much easier. First round on the board for Astralis. Now, Renegade's still going to be fine with 4, and one thing that they can have continued success in this half so far has been their ability to control ladder from the CT side. So that's one thing they can hang their hat on. That's still a very critical issue for Astralis to kind of figure out and solve.
Let's say at this point, impressed with Renegades. I'm loving that late round aggression. It doesn't necessarily always work, right? But it did that round, at least till the very end. So I'm liking the way they, as I said, they're not letting Astralis dictate much in this one. And here we go again. Back to the aggression. Not just JKS, Azza right behind him too. So you've got two players pushed up towards Pop here. And they've been struggling to handle this. There hasn't been that easy response just yet. And Glaive might be going back into the Incinerator soon enough, as these two have been completely lighting them up. But for now, Astralis still plenty of options. And look at Dupree. Could be maybe making a little bit of a wander here if he fancies it. But at the moment, just eyeing things up, see if anyone's going to make any plays. And for now, JKS does find Glaive as again, he tries to make the play, but Dupree now sets in. It's not just Magis who can do it, it's Dupree as well. But look at this, Jacob waits so patiently to strike. Xyp9x does get the bomb down, but Jacob's works his way in excellent positioning. And now behind enemy lines, that is superb from him. 3 players completely decimated as Magis now has to find 4, and that Molotov might just be his downfall.
Yeah, that is so superb from Jacob. He's quiet with that play. A second Molotov and Magis is going to back off. Astralis being able to find entry that time into the inner bomb site. But again, shut down. Beautiful play from Jake.
You ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
We are back. We are legendary. We are passionate. We are Cologne.
The strike comes in for rain!
We are one.
The history comes full circle yet again. Now, the persistence, the dreams, the sweat, the struggle, the tradition. Some things cannot be named. Some places cannot be described. You can feel it. You know you can be a part of the extraordinary.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
You have to say as well, Glaive now 0 for 3 in trying to get that kill in ladder room. He has not had any success whatsoever. They still should have been able to win that round. It's just, there's a mistake though. You have to be able to clear that. 2 players push up that lane. The Opera gets on the Pop Doctor, or that first train, and no one actually clears out the other side of the bomb site. That has to be taken care of at some point.
A little surprised, caught off guard. Maybe.
I mean, fair play to Renegades. They've actually read it well enough to have 2 players at the inner site the previous 2 times Astralis have hit it, so they're doing a very good job. It's that buzzword they talk about on the desk, the confidence to take those fights and make those kind of risky rotations and positions.
A little bit of a different look here for both sides. Device actually vying for Ivy control, and we saw the Nifty kind of had his way with them when they're only on pistols, so this could be a little bit of a different outcome for now, but at the moment we're seeing, again, this aggression. I love it from Renegades. If it's working, why change it for now? They seem to switch up well when they need to. They've adjusted, not just done this. There's been multiple looks. But at this point, Nifty, again, up in this off angle. They're really choking out Astralis here.
If you're Astralis, the only way to really get around, especially this ladder room, because it's so hard to do different ways to attack this when there's two players consistently in the ladder room. You need to have success either in team mid, you need to have success over in Ivy. You need to force the defense to say, okay, we can't dedicate two players towards ladder room. We have to rotate one out to help with Ivy, to help with team mid, something. I mean, the different ways, like I said, Glaive has had no success. If you do the double drop down that we've seen other teams do with two players there, you likely just get mowed down and lose two players instead of just one. And Astralis, it feels like they're going back to Old Faithful. That inner bomb site, they've been able to find some entries even without necessarily converting the rounds to wins.
Timing's going to be tricky because you've got two players pushing up Ivy at the same time as this B hit's about to come in. So you can see Nifty very hesitant as to where he wants to go. But as Jacob holding the play from Ivy, Glaive has snuck through though. Nifty does find him free, so that B hit is now in trouble. Nifty delivers again, but Device comes back through. We're into a 2v3, and again, look at this. The play, the patience on the side, down to the last 10 seconds. I don't think Glaive can even get close enough. He might be able to take a gun away or two, but at this point, no bomb plant. Renegades, their positioning has been excellent. They haven't been, caught hook, line and sinker. Astralis are so good at making players feel uncomfortable, pulling them out of place, making them, over-rotate, put players in the wrong position. But right now, Renegades are playing a very good game.
Yeah, they really are. And obviously, Nifty, a big job on that rotation with the AWP picking off two, allowing Ustilla to go undetected behind those spindles at the inner bomb site. And this is dangerous. This is now a timeout being called from Astralis. They're stumped. You can see the new overlay. If you're looking up top, you can see the clock that indicates it's a timeout. Running
Can't
down.
see that. You can only look at Dupree's fluffy hair.
Sonic having some words.
He looks strict, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's like the fun dad, but then also
not when
strict
it turns
dad.
into game time. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like the switch comes out. But
Kassad always looks like the angry dad. He looks,
He does. I'd be a little scared. But I mean, this was great from Jacob. Again, it was a mistake from Astralis, but to exploit it so well.
No, but like if you're
so good.
If you're the planter, right? If you're the planter in that scenario, you have to that's the one issue is the bomb gets put down and immediately starts pushing up that lane to the left. You have to at least consider the right. That's not an uncommon play that Jacob made there.
Oh yeah. Well, for now, Astralis have to kind of bite the pillow and deal with this 6-1. I'll say it because you can't get told off about productions. Zipnik's going to get pushed here, and I like it. Renegade's not going to sit back. Why not take the fight to them? Get it on the SMGs too. A little bit of extra cash going to be thrown around as they're going to be building up the funds. Jacob, good positioning, good timing, takes him down. And it looks like a nice clean sweep thus far. No plants, no kills. It's all Renegades, and they really start striding in the right direction. At the start, we wanted a convincing victory from Astralis if you wanted to see the previous runs that they've had in these tournaments, especially in Katowice. This isn't it.
They had the small conversation at the desk about Jacob and whether he was actually a permanent player for this Renegades team. And I don't, it is tough to dive too deep into it without knowing all the terms of the trial contract or whatever, but he might just play himself into a permanent role. Absolutely. If you're new to Counter-Strike recently, this is the level that we saw Jacob playing and how good he was in fights 2016, before he was dropped off the Renegades lineup. He never found any rhythm in that team, but he's looking great here so far. So is Renegades, 7-1. I think this is shocking most people. They've had a great jump in performance recently, but I don't think many expected to this level.
And I think that sometimes you'll see these performances or these results in the best of one for sure, but it's normally maybe one player's having this crazy sick game, just going all out, completely destroying them. We've seen great moments from Jacob for sure, but again, the entirety of Renegades are playing a very nice approach. This is the first half for Astralis. This is the first real attempt, but again, look at Nifty here, already going to make moves, take over map control and take down Magisk. That's perfection. Again, Renegades so active in doing this. Astralis seem a little, I don't know, behind the curve, which is very rare to say. Glaive always feels like he's on the pulse, very quick on the decisions, very smart. But for now, he's getting outdone.
This is where Astralis, relying so much on fundamentals, might come back to bite them. This is where you really kind of need to loosen things up and maybe go away with what might theoretically be the better play. Here's a drop down, a good trade from Glaive, but can't build upon it. That 2-player in ladder room has ruined them. Device now getting out mid, avoiding that fight, gonna come back for it.
That's an alpha play. That's 4 big kills.
Yeah, that's a good point. JKS, maybe he heard that. Maybe someone like tweeted at
just
him.
Just like fired him up.
Can you believe what Sponger said about you? 8-1, but this is where you really need, if you're Astralis, to look at your players like someone like Magisk, like someone like Device and Dupree, those kind of 3 stars that, you know, and just say one of you has to kind of break out of the mold. One of you has to do something unexpected and create an opportunity for us to get back into this game. Because the trouble is, normally this wouldn't be the worst scoreline in the world for a T-side of Train if the economy for Renegades was low, but it is just so built up at this point. Everyone right around, most people just at 10,000 or right beneath it.
Yeah. It's recoverable. There's no disputing it. Like, Astralis can definitely turn this one back into favor if they get the last couple of rounds or start actually really pushing these guys. But for now, it does seem like this will be 9-1 very, very soon. Down to the Deagle and the CZ with Glaive, and as strong as that CZ has seen to be recently, no need to do this one. JKS again, dominant. Not just in drop or by pop, should I say, but electric, wherever he feels like he wants to be. Xyp9x might be able to get a kill or 2, but at this point, the economy is so well set, it doesn't seem to make much of a difference.
Everyone's going to be filthy rich on the Renegade side of things. Yeah, I think we need to see Astralis attack Ivy. That's the one area of the map they haven't really put a whole lot of emphasis on as the point of an attack. They've done it one time to kind of try to split that inner bomb site. It was Glaive and one other player trying to wrap through CT spawn. That didn't work out. Time ran out. They need to attack that, because if you're going to have 2 players in ladder room, that means there's, you know, 1 player watching mid, perhaps, and it might even be one of the players from ladder room, and then 1 player watching Ivy. So you can find some kind of attack and bypass that ladder room for the most part. And if you can get Device with an angle from Ivy over towards that ladder room, all of a sudden you can have them pinned in.
They might be listening to a smaller degree. Again, though, 2 players over here. Jacob this time kind of being put to task. It was Nifty before over here with him a lot of the times, but this seems like the different look as Nifty's soloing out on B.
Yeah, changing it up again. Dynamic defense. That's a great nade on a Dupree. That was from, I believe, Ustillo as he falls back. He's going to go pair up towards Ivy. Actually, now it's going to be largely ignored, and this might be one of the first misreads we have from the Renegade side. Glaive now, Molotov out. Smoke is going to extinguish it. There's the fight. Smoke, or the Molotov, excuse me, forced JKS into Dupree, who peeked out from mid at the timing. Xyp9x is there still as well. But this is the first time we've seen Astralis have success force Renegades away.
Exactly. This quite literally is the first time they've dismantled that aggression coming through. Now, Az has gone and pushed up himself. Great responsive play. Now, Device and Magisk in the meantime working their way up. Ivy, already Magisk looking for opportunities close by, but you can see it's Jacob watching this, but the timing's right here for Renegades, and it's going to be very tricky for them to hold on to this. Astralis going to strike. It's going to be Xyp9x finding Azza. That's going to loosen the grip that they've had on this. Is Jacob now going to watch again, but they've got great attention turned to this. Look at Ustillo's positioning. They seem pretty aware this is the plan, but Glaive's now moving up. Ustillo needs to strike pretty damn hard, and no, he can't do it. Device and Magisk read the play, and finally we see a response from Astralis. They've worked it out. They've got an idea. Whether they can repeat it or not, we don't know, but for now it seems like they've at least got a round on the board that I doubt Nifty's going to find a way back into. Even though with the money in his pocket, he might as well do something about it. Let's see if he can make it hurt at least. That's going to annoy Device if I was him, but Nifty's feeling it seems.
Yeah, he's got a lot of confidence at the moment. Now this might be too much. There's no chance he gets out of this with the AWP. As Glaive and Xyp9x at the inner bomb site can wrap behind him. He's not going for it. He's going to turn away here. Yeah, there's no coincidence that the first time Renegades is forced out of ladder room is the first run on a board for Astralis in quite some time. That's a nice adjustment from them, and it was just so well played patience. That crunch from Ivy, from T-Mid as well, that was huge. Ustillo was rotating back in time. He needed a couple more seconds, but I think Jacob had already been feeling uncomfortable with that pinch from mid in the old hell. So now, the task of building upon that round for Astralis.
And that's the fun part, isn't it? I'm wondering who called this as well. Who called the timeout? Would it be Astralis at this point?
If the color coordination of the timer has anything to say about it.
Well,
that would be next level. I don't know
that
how
would be
deep
pretty
this HUD goes.
Slick.
Yeah, that would be.
I'm like seeing productions, you're like, it is, Lauren, tell them we're great. For now, though, it has run down, but either way, it's pretty beneficial to both teams. Renegades finally being worked out, but we did see a slightly different look to that approach as well. Nifty was over by B, kind of soloing out with the AWP. I wonder if it changes if he's back by Ivy, if that makes it trickier, if it maybe slows it down. you know, it's all to be seen. Decent purchase from both sides. At least we know the money's going to be pretty stable for Renegades throughout this, at least for a good long while. So you've got 6K still seeing a few 7 on Nifty. And of course, Astralis going to do what they can. But this might be another new look from Astralis, maybe feeling they've kind of suddenly turned things around. They maybe got a decent read. Maybe not, because again, look at Azza and look at JKS. Straight back towards it, but not quite towards Pop this time.
Still has been forced away early from the angle inside. Device starts to burn a little bit late from a Molotov, down towards 68, maybe some spam. That's going to call Jacob back, which is why I point that out from Ustillo. That's a very early part of the round, and we don't have that that ladder room set up again from JKS and Ozza. They've been forced away, not feeling comfortable from the roster round. There's a great pick from Nifty.
Angles.
Yeah, that is dirty.
This guy, I am loving the way he's offering this, though. It's so unorthodox. He caught them out so badly as well. Zero expectance of that, as Nifty does actually make it away scot-free too. Doesn't even get tagged up on the way out, so he's done brilliant work posting up numbers for Renegades early on. This is the maybe difference maker we were looking at. Does him back on Ivy make a difference? Does it help them out? Does it change the dynamic? It certainly looks like it's helped.
I'm wondering if Glaive wants to kind of test the waters towards ladder room to make sure they can't be quick flanked, but there's no other options left for Astralis except to hit the center bomb site, essentially. They've given up map control. There's no presence towards Ivy. They're scared away by Nifty. There's no presence in T-mid. The bomb is inside. 30 seconds left. Doubled up defense, Jacob and Ustillo here. There is some utility being thrown in towards the ladder room and towards outside. No one's rotated there, so it's just these two players.
Jacob last time was a bit of a superstar. We knew it to be true at that point. But Ustillo still needs to make some damage happen here, and they're very, very isolated from the other side of this B site, but support's on the way. Device does find Nifty, but look at the time, 10 seconds left. And oh, it's excellent play from Dupree and Device. The D&D combo does do so well, but the bomb, does it have time to be planted, or can Azza stop it? It's just been planted now. Device in the 1v1. Azza works his way close. Device, though, does he have the angle? It looked like he had an idea where Azza was, but it does not matter. Azza strikes well, and they do keep control of this game.
Oh, Dupree almost pulls that in their favor. That was sick wrap around the bomb train from him, but a really nice job. Nifty gets caught off guard. Device is just on that lower ramp holding it, so a great shot here, gets picked off later on in the round, but that initial hold from Ustillo is phenomenal. What a great read. He spots someone at lower ramp, and he knows that Zipnik, someone who's going to peek around the edge of that smoke at upper ramp, is able to get 2 kills. Ozza at 14 and 5, JKS at 12 and 5. Those are the two players defending ladder room usually, or at least at the start of this half. And Astralis is unable to string rounds together, though with that plant, they're going to have a pretty decent buy. 2 AKs in the AWP, a couple CZs as well. How do they decide to do this now? They've been getting so many different looks from the defense that how do you really read where you want to go? That's a nice opening pick, though. Ustillo getting caught. Last round he was forced away. This time, Device smacks it a little bit.
We know the big issue had been this as a JKS combo in towards Pop. This time, it's not looking so strong as JKS has to now fill the void. Pulling himself over towards B, leaving 3 towards A. As Astralis now still taking their time. They've not really made moves anywhere. They've got a little bit of presence now building towards Ivy. And we've seen that pressure, when we haven't seen Nifty in that position, has, maybe built up a little bit. That was one of the rounds they actually got done. But Jacob's no slouch here. He's been playing a great game.
Tough part is that pick comes so early in the round from Device that he can now relocate with that AWP. And he has plenty of time to find a second one before Astralis chooses. He's got about 25 more seconds. Right around 30 seconds, you figure Astralis has to make their decision. No utilities used to force Nifty away from the angle. We saw this earlier in the half, but it didn't really amount to anything. Meanwhile, Jacob has had a lot of pressure on him over here towards Ivy. Got to win this battle against Magisk, and he does. Nifty, meanwhile, got 1 kill. And even though Device is in position, that Molotov forced him away. This round should be over.
Should. 30 seconds. How bad do you want it? Zipnix goes in. He gets the job done. All right, 2v2, 26 seconds left, bomb in hand. Both players as well in good positioning from Renegade, so they're not sweating anything just yet. Device gets close, Jacob picks out. Great timing from him, traded, and Zipnix, we know this guy can clutch. He's a bit of a god. I've challenged him before and lost. Not gonna make those words happen again. Zipnix, bomb goes in. JKS closing in so close, and the spray's not good enough from Zipnix. It's all JKS. That's confidence, and that's exactly what you want to be seeing from that player.
That's exactly what I was going to say. To push through that smoke, yes, he has the advantage of Zipnix needing to put the bomb down and having some time, but to push through that smoke and get to the train and outmaneuver Zipnix in a 1v1, he wasn't feeling any nerves whatsoever. That's really great. So dangerous, though. Astralis almost able to come back into that round, and it felt like it should have been shut down. In a 4-on-2, less than 30 seconds, you're still nowhere near the bomb site. This is, I'm feeling shocked, Lauren.
Yeah, it feels like one of those games you're watching, you're just waiting for Astralis to actually just start winning rounds.
This never happened.
All right, well, this was all meant to be Astralis just feeling it out, warming back in. Maybe having like 3 or 4 rounds is like, well, that's a bit tricky. We knew Renegades were doing well, but I didn't think it was being 11-2 well. But again, best of ones, it can really threaten. But this isn't a bad map for Astralis. It's still one of their best results overall. So these guys are fantastic at it.
They started picking this map over Overpass recently as well. I mean, they'd lost some confidence on that towards the beginning of the year, and they'd been going towards Train towards the end of last year as well. So, well, hit the inner bomb site, I guess, here. We'll see how it goes. Utility being used outside. Dupree and Device waiting on that lower ramp with the bomb. Zipnik's going to join up with them. But no one's moving from Renegades. They don't feel the fake at all. Glaive might be able to sneak in and wrap around Ozza. Almost caught in the open. Ustillo is still here. Here's the pounce from Glaive. There's the timing. CC on a Nifty, and Ustillo watching absolutely nothing.
This is good. This is a really nice bit of impact from Astralis. A couple of issues here. Renegades kind of called their bluff very last second. Jacob spots out one, but the information gathered both ways. Now it's down to JKS and Jacob to try and make this one look even cleaner for Renegades. Nice 12-2. That always looks pretty darn good, especially going to the final rounds of this half. So, Glaive outdoes him. Glaive, you just gonna wait it out? All right.
Wanted a fair fight.
Fair play. He does the job, and JKS knows he can't get this one out. So, gonna get the AWP, get away, and it will be another on the board for Astralis, but it's slim pickings here for them. It's, very last minute. It may give them that small buffer going into the second half that, eventually that maybe they could build from, but this is very, very, very small amounts of hope for Astralis here.
Yeah, the fourth would obviously be nice, and they finally kind of got the money for Renegades to a point where they're going to be missing a few things, I believe. Might even see a timeout from Renegades if they kind of want to talk this one over. But yeah, that's one of the first times Astralis really had success kind of throwing a fake of kind of some misdirection. A lot of presence, a lot of nades outside. Glaive sneaking into a smoke, went unspotted. He was able to cut off one rotation, and Ustillo just had no idea where the attack was going to come from towards that inner bomb site. Once his teammate left that area, he was kind of all on his own and didn't see it coming.
All right, well, Astralis need this lifeline. Bear in mind they are the current kind of champions of Katowice. This was their big win for them, and well, this is not the start you'd be thinking of if you knew that. Now, we've seen you have to go back to this filthy little angle. It worked so well before. I think it was Magisk who got completely destroyed, but maybe they're aware of it this time. The flash comes in. It's a little too deep. No, it's perfect. It catches him, tags him, and they push him. Great work from Dupree, just going to barrel on in there. Now you can see Renegades getting a little worried here over by Pop. It suddenly dismantles the hold. The crossfire has been broken. And you suggested this rounds ago, but it seems it took a while for them to be able to get it to work so nicely.
Yeah, fool me once, and they caught onto it after that. Zipnik's waiting for that push. Read it coming, and they even know that Ozza's in here, hunting him down. It did take a long time, but now it seems Astralis is zoned in on everywhere that Renegades is going to play. And on top of that, the great thing is, Dupree and Astralis building up on that one kill towards Ivy. You get that player out of action, and then you keep pushing forward. That's really beautiful. You can see the latter player, I think that was JKS, just didn't even expect the speed of that attack. So they do get 4. They've bought themselves a small window. We'll see if they can come back, because we have yet to see Renegade's T-side on this map, obviously. So if they come out with a shoddy T-side, that could be the avenue back for Astralis.
11-4, of course, on the half. Really good stuff from Renegades. A small window of chance for Astralis. We'll find out how it pans out in just a second.
Intel Extreme Masters.
You ready? Huh? Hey, easy boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
welcome back to IM Katowice. Bear in mind this is day one, the group stages have begun, and would you believe it, 11-4 on the half. Now, if you'd seen that and not known the teams or which way around I'm saying, you'd probably put it in Astralis' pocket against Renegades, but no. It's 11-4 to this side, and they've really been playing a very nice game, but we've yet to see that T side. We don't know how Astralis is going to come out of the gates, but Astralis know they need to really get going now.
Renegades did have the luxury of being able to utilize